Hello, hello, hello. There we go. All right, let's stand and say the pledge. Chief Schmidt, are you going to lead us in prayer?
Our Father in heaven, we thank Thee for this beautiful day that we have been blessed with in the Ozarks. Father, we are grateful to Thee for the many blessings we enjoy, especially the ability to get together as leadership and representatives of the community to discuss the best ways to move forward with the city and to accomplish our goals and to fill the fundamentals of what our residents and visitors want to see out of this community. Father, we ask Thee now to please bless us with Thy Spirit as we go forth, that we might enjoy each other's company and discussion, fellowship, and understanding of the needs and wants of each department and this city. And we ask Thee to please guide us through Thy Spirit. And we say these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chief. All right, let's take a roll call for the Board of Aldermen.
Lucas. Howden.
Here.
And Alderman Howden is attending virtually. Cooper.
Here.
Milton. Can you hear us, Mayor?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm here.
Mayor Milton is attending virtually. Denham.
Here.
LeBlanc.
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
And Alderman Schultz is joining virtually. Your Honor, you have a quorum for the Board of Aldermen meeting.
All right, let's take a roll call for the Finance Committee.
LeBlanc.
Here.
Lucas. Cooper.
Here.
Milton is here. Williams.
Here.
Hinckley.
Here.
McBratney. Step.
Here.
Your Honor, you have a quorum for the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Hillary. All right, this item is the introduction and briefing of the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget, and we'll begin with an introduction from Kathy. Here we go.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody, and thank you to our board, and welcome to our Finance Committee members for tonight's formal introduction for the proposed 2026 budget. What you're going to have presented to you this evening is kind of filling in the lines with color on from the numbers of a spreadsheet. And it's our opportunity for us to go over with you all what kinds of accomplishments we were able to realize in 2025, which were certainly significant, and where we plan to invest taxpayer dollars going into 2026 and beyond. I'm very, very proud of my team this year. They have really worked tirelessly to make sure that the things that we highlight for you tonight are directly tied back to why it matters to the taxpayers and to, frankly, our visitors as well. The Finance Committee tonight is going to have that opportunity with the rest of the board, obviously, to hear the formal introduction. And they'll have another opportunity to review and recommend to the Board of Aldermen at the meeting on October 23rd to do just that. So again, it is an honor to serve you in this role. Again, we have taken our direction from our board and our mayor, and we feel we've got a good understanding of where you want us to take the city moving forward. And tonight, I hope that you're able to be just as excited about the coming year as we are. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. Ben Hart of Baker Tilly and Allison Ramsey will now provide a budget overview.
Good evening. So I'm going to start with the timeline of what we've been working on the past few months. So in June, departments entered their budgets into Tyler and filled out a capital request form so we could kick off the budget process. In July, along with HR and finance, departments reviewed full-time employee counts to determine what full-time employees are needed for the 2026 budget. In August, a public hearing establishing the annual levy was held, and that levy came in at 0.05845 mils, or 0.5845 per $100 of assessed valuation. And then in the last 2 weeks of August, administration reviewed and revised departments' budgets. August 28th, departments met with administration to review and revise their budgets and ensure everything was accounted for. In the first week of September, we adjusted the budgets results of the department meetings to once again ensure everything was accounted for. And then tonight kicks off our budget briefing and the first look at our 2026 budget. Then on October 13th, we will hold a session where we review alternative rate models to determine what will be the best rate model to go with. No votes will be taken at this meeting, and this will review just the alternative rate models that Kendall has provided. On October 14th, we will discuss which rate model to choose and propose an amendment to the original rate model. In October of 23rd, that will be the Finance Committee meeting where we will discuss the budget that's before you today. October 28th will be the first reading to the Board of Aldermen of the 2026 budget, and November 25th will be the final reading of the 2026 budget. And now we move into the methodology behind our budget this year. So for revenue, for sales tax revenue, we budgeted a 2% increase over 2025 budgeted revenue. For tourism tax, based on the current trend, we did a 4% increase over the 2025 budget. Tourism tax currently is coming in at 11%, but there's a lot of volatility. So we're seeing 11% right now, but that could steady off at the end of the year, and that's why we just went ahead and did a 4% one. We did want to be more aggressive than the 2% because we saw this coming in over that 2% mark. For tourism tax, 25% of tourism tax received is for marketing, is earmarked just for marketing. That accounts for about 4.3 million of the tourism tax budget. The rest of the dollars in revenue, about 14 million in tourism funding, will go to capital improvements in the 2026 budget. As for debt in the 2026 budget, we have Branson Hills 2007A debt maturing in the 2026 budget, and this has been accounted for in our debt model. Then in 2027, Branson Hills 2005A and Branson Landing are set to mature. That debt is set to mature, and we have accounted for this so we can have the revenue in 27, and we are putting money in reserves to pay those bonds in 2027. And then that's all of our methodology, and then we can move into finances presentation.
All right. Is that Ben, is Ben coming up now, or? Oh, she's still going?
Ben's my wingman, but he'll
Oh.
step in if I need him.
I thought you were giving us a big departure. I thought you were exiting. Go ahead.
So also this chart that Hillary just brought up, we wanted to go ahead and provide you like a vision of where we're at with taxes year to date. So this is, like, the first graph is unrestricted sales tax collections. These are 5% greater than our 2024 number. So we're doing pretty good, but we still went ahead and budgeted at 2% because as we get to the end of the year, we see that kind of drop off. And those collections are as of July. So those are our busy months, right? That's the summertime. We want to see that. And so right now we're sitting at 5% greater than 2024. And that was July's collection. That's where we've collected year to date from the business sales standpoint. And then the chart under this is our tourism tax collections, and you can see those are way up over 2024 as of September, so this would be August's business sales, and that's 11% over this time last year, like I had said previously. And then we'll move into department presentations. So we're going to start with finance. So the finance department. And so here's our department overview. For 2025, we had full-time budgeted positions of 17. We are down to 14 full-time budgeted positions for the 2026 budget. This is mainly due to 2 positions moving to planning and development, and then 1 position we are not utilizing in 2026, and we have not budgeted that position, which is the utility billing manager. And then you can see our 2025 budget compared to our 2026 proposed budget. So we have a decrease of about 93 million for our 2026 budget. This is mainly due to those positions that we cut and moved. And then you can also see our contractual decrease because we are fully staffed. So we have cut our contractual services down due to being fully staffed. And then here are some of our key accomplishments. So for 2025, we've tracked short-term rentals a little bit better just to make sure everyone is paying their tourism tax. We've developed monthly budget meetings with departments and administration to go over their monthly financials. We've improved our accounts payable procedures and made sure that these are fully on, they are on track with our current new ERP model. And we have implemented the new accounts receivable module in our new ERP model. And then we began implementation for the new utility billing module out of the ERP system. And then our 2026 key initiatives will be in January, we will go live with our new financial transparency module, which we are currently working on. We will transition to the new utility billing module, and we will begin paying vendors via ACH. And then we will go over the mayor and board's budget. So here's the department overview of the mayor and board, as you all know. They're pretty little pictures up there. And then they had a reduction in their budget from their 2025 budget to their 2026 budget. This reduction was due to contractual services. We took the average of the 3-year actual expenditures in that fund, and so we reduced contractual services, and this was mainly for travel and training, and then contractual services for supplies. And we looked at the 3-year average, and then we looked at the 5-year average, and we have never spent what we have budgeted, so then we went ahead and reduced these dollars to apply them elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to hear from the directors now of each department. We're going to start with, is Haley up? Come on, Haley, from Human Resources.
Good evening. Thank you. This first page is our org chart. This is the same head count as what we had last year, so no changes for our department. A quick overview of what we do. So basically, we ensure our city attracts, retains, and supports a capable workforce while protecting the organization from as many operational risks as we can. Our key service areas include recruiting, benefits, employee relations, policy, safety, insurance, and risk management. We take care of people. For our budget this year, our commodities have gone down just a tad bit, as well as our contractual going up just a little bit. That is just us adjusting our lines and where our funds go. Our HR services line has gone down. We moved payroll out of HR and into finance last year, and so this is just adjusting the budget for that. So you can see that reduction in our total for 2026. As a side note, all departments will see a bit of an uptick outside of finance and HR and maybe one other department in their HR services line. This is due to COLA, so as we do a cost of living increase, and our estimate for budget increase. We typically have an annual increase in our insurance budget. That number has not been finalized yet. We're waiting on one final kickback from Cigna in hopes to keep our business. And once we have that, then we'll publish those out. Okay, it's not clicking. There we go. Here's a few of our accomplishments. Job requisitions were down just a tad bit. So that's our efforts in really focusing on bringing in the right people, retaining the right people, and not having so much turnover. So you can see that kind of trickle down throughout 2025. We did have a bit of an uptick in job fairs, so us just pushing that footprint out a little further than we have in the past. Another big piece of what we do are health and wellness. We work hard to work on challenges that promote wellness in our organization to hope reduce our insurance costs long term. We had great participation this year and are continuing to have good participation. Really kicked up our water drinking challenge this year. Last year we had a really high uptick in urinary issues and insurance costs. And so we really focused some efforts there to try to get people to drink things that were good for them and maintain that healthy outcome. So for 2026, our biggest things are just to continue on with what we're doing, to continue to hire the best talent, optimize our HR services and systems. We are implementing a new payroll and HRIS platform this year, which will go live in January. Really will provide efficiencies in reporting and processes and policy implementation. We'll continue to work on employee engagement and increase our communication, develop our leaders, continue on with our career growth and succession planning, and overall promote wellness and safety in our city. Any questions? Thank you.
I have a quick question. You said the payroll, it reduced about $100,000 just from switching the payroll over?
Well, we moved 2 people out of our department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, I do think that bringing on new payroll system will help us have some efficiencies in timekeeping and the true time it takes our staff to process time. So we expect probably 5 hours at least a week out of those office specialist time.
So that 100 grand was basically employee salary?
It was.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Anything else? Thank you.
thank you. Madam Clerk, come on down. Look at her. She's making a grand entrance, went all the way around. That was nice.
On deck.
That's good.
Hello. I am presenting for City Clerk and Municipal Court. There's Kylan Cheney. Wave to the people. I just want to introduce her really quick. Deputy City Clerk. All right, there's the rest of us. We took this picture just for you guys, so I hope you enjoy. The top two ladies are from the municipal clerk's or court's office, sorry, and then the rest of the 5 of us are at the city clerk. We are all housed in the same department. In my humble opinion, these gals are the best of the best, and I feel very privileged to work with them every day. And we're going to jump right into the budget. Brace yourself. It is shocking. So we are staying flat from last year, with the exception of HR services, which are going up a little bit due to insurance and COLA and merit and things of that nature. So normally at this point, I would regale you with the nuts and bolts of what we do in the city clerk's office. This year, I'm going to take a little slightly different direction and highlight the top 3 things from this year that we accomplished, and then goals for next year that I think you think are going to be interesting. So I've talked about this one before, passport acceptance facility. This was a huge one for us, and I mentioned Kylan because it was all her baby. She saw it through from start to finish. Not only did we expand services to the community, but also we're able to tap into a little bit of a revenue source, which is not something that you're able to say very often at the city clerk level. So very excited about that. All the kudos to her. She does all the appointments, and we've seen a lot of success with that this year. Something else we don't get to talk about very much is court. We offer community service through our municipal court. Cindy Shook is in this picture. Cindy, if you're listening, not because she got in trouble with the law and had to do community service, but she actually approached us with the idea of expanding community service to the Parks Department. So we're very excited to partner with them to get some extra beautification for our trails and parks. So thank you, Cindy, for that idea, and we're very excited about that. And then this is just a picture of some of the economic incentives. We play a small part when it has to do with the paper portion of those. So this year, as you know, we did 1 TIF, 2 brand new SIDs, 1 SID extension, a TDD, and 2 Chapter 100 incentives. That is a lot of paperwork on our end. So we do the mailings and we do certain notifications in the paper. So we did actually over 600 certified mailings, 14 publications, and then 8 special meeting notices to check all the statutory boxes to make sure those got done on time. So we were very excited about these incentives, and we're happy to do our part in that. So, and then as far as just 2026 initiatives, I talk about this one a lot, digitize, digitize, digitize. So over the picture there, this is our second summer to do an internship program. That's Mia. We met her through the Go Caps program 2 years ago. She actually came back with us again this summer and helped us digitize. That is her learning that it's easier to pull a hand truck than it is to push it, and that's at our offsite storage facility. So, and then we have set up a scanning station. Lynn is just scanning her heart out every day. That is a very fast scanner, and so that project is going very smoothly. So we are actually starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Our goal is to eliminate the need for our off-site archives facility in 2026. So that's a big one because there are a lot of documents that we're digitizing. So, and then we just wanted to ramp up employee training, just recognizing that the more people are up to date with procedures, the more efficient we are as employees, the more consistent we are, and the less we get into trouble. So we want to do our part to ramp that up. And then that is what we call our clerk in a box. So we've had that actually for a while. That helps us be mobile. So if we needed to move locations, we could maintain our operations. Why that's on here is there's been a push for emergency preparedness from administration down, and the fire department's been great about coming and chatting with us about that. We want to have everybody in our department better poised to jump in and help in the event of emergency. So everybody in our department will be at least NIMS 100 to 200 certified. The supervisors will be by the end of this year, and then the rest of the staff by next year. So that is our presentation, what we're working on. We thank you for consideration, and our commitment is always to give you the most bang for your buck. Any questions?
No, great job. Oh, she's getting applause, okay. All right, Chad from IT, look at him.
I don't know how to follow up that riveting Clerk's Department presentation, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Good job. So let's talk about your IT department just a little bit. So we have 7 employees, obviously myself as the director. I'm going to go through, because we have a small department, just briefly here, and name some names here. We've got Brandon Reed as your IT operations manager. He's been with us 13 years, and there's a reason I'm going to tell you this. I've been here 18 years, by the way. Brendan Rappenchuk's our network engineer. He's been here 12 years. Matt Gregory's our SCADA network administrator. He's been here with the city 22 years, 10 of that in IT. Curtis Copeland is our GIS manager. Everybody knows Curtis, I think, in the room. He's been here 27 years. Curtis, yeah, we'll get back to that. So we also have Chance Moore, our IT technician too. He's been here 3 years. And we have a new employee. Our GIS analyst is Linda Sue Norris, and she's been here about 60 days. So we're proud to have her as well. But I want to focus just a little bit, if you might, on kind of the top right here, this top half. So if you look at that top half, I was thinking about, how long our employees have been here. And I did some math, which I know I can actually do math, believe it or not. Very basic math, but still. If you total the number of years of service of that top line there, you're going to get 92 total years, not of experience, but working here for the city of Branson, which I thought was pretty remarkable. I want to especially highlight Curtis and the GIS division. I would argue he is one of the best in the state, if not the nation, at what he does. And I could say that about every one of my employees. I know that I am biased when I say this, but I truly believe I've got the best team, in the city. But they're really fantastic. I couldn't be more proud of them. So thank you for letting me brag on them just a little bit. Let's talk about our budget. Thank you. So if you look at our numbers, we came in just a hair over last year, 1.4 million, just a hair over that. We were at like 1.35 last year. And really what it comes down to is just the increase in general personnel cost, right? We tried very hard, as Kathy mentioned, to keep everything flat and do our very best to be good stewards of your taxpayers' dollars. Accomplishments. We have been working very hard on a Windows 11 migration. Those are required, I think, next week. If you haven't already at home, upgrade all your computers to Windows 11. You won't get security updates if you don't. It's very important for cybersecurity. We also did a project with the Utilities Department for backflow software. We continue every single day to enhance our cybersecurity related to the entire network, but we've worked extra hard the last year or so on your SCADA network, so your water, sewer infrastructure. It's very, very important, and we put a lot of time in that. We continue to expand our camera system to all off-site locations in our access control system. We implemented a new IT service management system, which helps the IT department service all the departments, keep track of all our stats, and understand what resources we need, and how to come and have asked to you for resources that we need. And of course, the police department has been keeping everyone busy, and we work on the design of the new police center and the tower. We're going to be putting a new data center in one of those locations, and we've been working very hard to design that and make sure it meets our needs. And we also did network penetration testing this year, and we had a NIST assessment done of our department, which is an industry standard baseline for how we perform compared to the industry. And I'm pleased to report we got a very good rating on that. And we did, we passed our penetration test with flying colors. So we are in a good place now, and I hope to keep it that way. Can you click on that for me, Brandon? Thank you. As we wrap this up, projects for next year, we are looking to implement redundant intrusion detection and prevention systems, which is a fancy term. It's always changing for a firewall. We are implementing fiber internet as well as redundancy. We got some aggressive pricing on that just came in today. We're going to continue on your SCADA network, cybersecurity enhancements, and access control. We're also looking to put multi-factor authentication on every single computer that operates on our network. It's always a matter of security versus convenience, and unfortunately, we got to go on the side of security. And we will continue to expand our cybersecurity awareness program and expand training for enterprise software. Anybody have questions? Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Chad. Solon, come on down. Salon.
You had it right the first time, but I don't care either way. All right, well, I'm excited to be before you for my first one of these. I was here last year, but I didn't present last year because I was underneath the umbrella of the administration. So that starts off the first slide here of, I'm just going to put them all out there. Who, what, how, where. I'm going to skip over these pretty quick. This just kind of tells you how our department is structured. It's myself, and we have 3 other attorneys and a paralegal. That has evolved from what our legal staffing was before this. Before this, we had a city prosecutor, a legal assistant, and a city attorney contracted out. So that's the difference between this year and last year. All right, this is our budget here. You can see the difference that I just talked about down below in the positions and titles, how that has kind of shifted a little bit. It's actually given us more attorneys, less support staff in some ways, but the budget itself changing our estimates, approximately $47,000 increase. So I think we're actually getting a pretty good bang for our buck on that. Oop, I went too far. All right, so there's a lot that went into creating the legal department, and I'm just going to go over a couple of those things really quick. So these are just some of the software programs that we had to implement. I'm in the process of doing right now, I spent an hour or 2 today working on the checkbox one. It's actually really cool. I'm really excited to, I'm sure the directors are going to be excited about that too, but it's how we intake legal matters from them. So as you can imagine, without a legal department, there's no processes in place, there's no file storage, there's no systems at all to house the legal department stuff. And so these are all what you would probably see in a normal in-house team, if not some more. So, when I got here, we had to get CJIS certified through the FBI Criminal Justice Information Database because we have access to that information. We have to be able to be certified. So there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it. Carpel this year, we actually went through, and the police are probably going to talk about this too, so I'm going to spoil here. Pro Phoenix was a new software that the police department implemented, and we were happy that they did that because it allowed us to create and purchase a bridge, which was only $15,000, which, I mean, that may seem like a lot or a little, I don't know, but for the amount that it's saving us, it's tremendous. So this bridge basically allows us to take data from the police department's files and shove it over into our prosecution files without data entry. Before that, we had a legal assistant typing in every little thing. Name of the person that got the ticket, literally every single ticket. They were typing name, date of birth, address, charge, all those things. Police officer, other witnesses, manually typed in. Now it's just a push of a button. And that's how, if you look back on my last slide there, you see that we're actually going to eliminate that legal assistant role. We eliminated it at half of the way last year because of the addition of a paralegal for myself, but then we're going to fully eliminate it, this year. Okay, so moving past that, along with legal department is the management of litigation. We've had quite a bit. My goal at the beginning of my time when I started at the city was to get rid of all the cases that we had in pending litigation. We're working towards that. We got one dismissed recently that has been pending for years. We have another one that's coming up on a jury trial this month. That one will be gone. And then there's just, we only had 4, I think we got served with the 5th my first day, which was fun. But so, we have less than 10, which is great. For the city with the amount of money we have, that's a good thing. And we have a really good, I think, policy on how we're handling the litigation. All right, next subject I have here is just other processes and services that we do. So one thing that we had before was we had a contracted real estate agent. The legal department actually has absorbed that. We've done a couple and are in the process of doing a property transaction right now for Public Works, where we're acquiring a building from another entity. And we've done other real estate transactions and continue to do others and be involved in them heavily with development and other things like that. So working on easement agreements and to support our departments such as utilities and other departments that are implementing projects throughout the city. Rather than hiring someone out to do that, we're doing that in-house, which is great. All right, oops. I guess I can't skip over the 76th Streetscape project because Michael always tells me I pulled off a miracle with that. Hopefully he says that again today. But anyway, this is a project that you all know is many years in the making, and there were some final easements that were really sticking. We couldn't seem to get them. I went to lunch with the individual that was kind of holding it up, and just to kind of understand their perspective a little bit. Ate at Longhorse, paid for it with my own money, but we got, don't worry, taxpayers there. But we got that deal done. And so, I mean, that's years in the making. We're excited about that. You guys are going to be seeing some more stuff coming on the 76 project soon. And Michael, I'm sure we'll talk about that more. There are some other city initiatives that we're working on, and I don't want to spill the beans for any other people, but they're just, public health and safety initiatives that the legal department's working with other departments and administration on. All right. And then the last bullet point I have on this slide is that our prosecuting attorneys, or our assistant city attorney, which does all the prosecution for me, and we're expected to file 2,200 cases this year. So I'm actually really proud of we have a new prosecutor. I'm really proud of him. He has done a tremendous job of getting our caseload managed, pulled down, caught up, and it's in a really good place right now. If he was to die, the next person that came in would have a really good situation to start off with. So I'm excited about that. Okay, last thing, some initiatives that we have going on. So this is a big one. I cross my fingers there.
You just cursed that guy,
He's not going
man.
anywhere.
Well, if he dies, we're going to be fine. Don't worry.
Anyway, so we have something that so one of the things that's interesting about starting a new department is you have to really take time out from the busy schedule and dedicate time to brainstorm, strategize, and think about the direction and the vision you want your department to go. I didn't have someone that already kind of had a direction and a path and projects that were already working, and I didn't just come in and start working on those projects and pick up where they left off. I had to start them. And so there's a lot of projects that I looked at this and I said, why in the world is the city of Branson, the size that it is, the money that it has, a fourth-class city? It's unbelievable. It should never have been that way. Fourth-class cities are extremely limited in their capabilities and the potential and the things they're allowed to do under the law. And so I said, you know what, we need to move to a charter city. And that was something that admin had also talked to me about. And as we got our heads together, we're moving towards that. And I'm excited about that. We'll have more coming. All right, that just kind of goes back to we still have more implementations of software and whatnot to do. And there's more to come on that I'm working on. One of the things I'm excited about having an in-house legal department is the institutional knowledge that we'll develop. We had attorneys that were contracted out before doing the city attorney work. And if our people, I heard this when I first got here as a litigation attorney. Oh man, they're expensive. Make sure if you call them, you really, you make it quick and you don't want to charge them by the hour. Well, our people don't have to worry about that anymore. That barrier's not there. They can call us if they have a problem. And we're hopeful that as time goes and we've increased the amount of people that we have in the office, the legal department, that we'll be able to answer those questions, and the legal knowledge in the various departments will be elevated. One thing we're also working on is refining and cleaning up the city code. It's got some work to do. That's all I can say about that. Another thing is we have started developing a legal memo library for staff, administration. If I die, the knowledge that I had is not going to go with me. It's going to stay here. There's going to be documents that they can go in and search and find in the legal department. So I'm excited about that because it's something that I didn't have when I came in here. No documents, no contracts, no nothing. Just had to start from scratch. The city of Branson's legal department has been like this for the last 20 years, 30 years. In-house, outhouse, in-house, outhouse, in-house, outhouse. And so there's files for the city of Branson that are in 15 different law firms in Springfield. So no more. We've got that all in-house with some of our software systems, and that will all be housed in-house. You know, some of the stuff that we're working on is just helping out with the enforcement initiatives to help bring a better curb appeal to the city of Branson, clearing up those trashy hotels that no one's in, that, you know, homeless and whatever else others going on in those places that is it's just not good for the city. So we're working on some of that stuff. The other thing is we've negotiated better deals for the city. So I've gotten in here, I've seen some of the contracts that have been negotiated in the past, and, you know, sometimes they're jaw-dropping moments, and I'm like, what in the world? You know, just kind of bad deals sometimes. And, you know, I don't know, maybe hindsight's 20/20, but. All right, strategic review real estate assets of the city. So I've recently started doing this. I've noticed that we have quite a few pieces of land, and I don't know that we've been really keeping track of those. And there's some of them that I'm like, why do we own this? I don't know. It's just sitting there. And maybe there's strategic initiatives or things that we can do with those, or money that we could be using somewhere else if we sold the land. So that's something that's coming this upcoming year that I'm going to work on. Just continue to push for creative solutions in the development process. When we were doing the 76 project, that was one that we had to get creative with. I had to tell the engineer, push back on them, you know, not the city engineer, but the outside designers that, hey, look, we gotta figure out this design. Let's figure out a creative way to get to a solution here, and we did. I already talked about that one. You know, it's my goal to, rather than have, you know, reactive relationships with people in the community, is have proactive relationships with them. So we have a developer that's wanting to do some stuff, and he's had a different, you know, various history in the past with the city, some good, some not. And I just, you know, one day felt like it was important for me to, you know, go to lunch with that individual so that if we do have problems, because they're getting ready to do a development in the city, if we do have problems, that I have a good relationship prior to those problems arising so that we can work through those better. So that's one of my goals as a legal department, is to proactively work in nurturing relationships with the players in the community. And that kind of goes along with that one. There's been a lot of citizens that have called in to me and asked me about things. In fact, I was really happy to see in one of the last meetings that Kendall got some money for one of the developments of people that called in on some sewage lines that the neighborhood just didn't have access to the city sewage. So that was one I tried to talk to the guy and figure out some solutions on, and then Kendall solved it before I got to it. So that's awesome. We are working on and have, actually you'll see these at the next Board of Aldermen meeting, some more affordable housing developments. These are some contracts that have been in the process before I came online and been kind of difficult to work through, but we finally got through those, and so I'm excited to see those on there. And the last thing is, and one of them is this system that I was working on today, is having data systems inside that we can track what the legal department's doing. How many matters are we dealing with? And so I think that's going to be very helpful. Come this time next year, you'll have some charts instead of a bunch of words. That's it.
Nice. Can we do a quick question, or are we supposed to hold for that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just curious, Solon, if you could explain to me why there's such a high potential death rate in your department.
It just comes with the job, the stress.
The 2,200 municipal court cases, where does that fall in line compared to last year? I mean, is that pretty average, or are they up or down, or?
I don't know the answer to that. I could probably find that, but
I don't know if it matters.
Interestingly, so municipal court, you get your traffic tickets, but then you get your code violations and stuff. Those cases take a lot more effort and time. You know, a traffic ticket, the person or the attorney can walk in and say, hey, can you do a $100 fine for this? Yep, good, okay, move it on, boom. You know, when we're doing initiatives on housing and, you know, business license initiatives, different things like that, that's like mini civil litigation cases, and sometimes they turn into big litigation. In fact, the case that got dismissed this year was one of those, where we cited an entity, you know, numerous times, and then it turned into a civil lawsuit. So, it just depends. So the numbers, they may grow, may not, but I think this next year, I'm expecting that even if they don't grow, the amount of work we're doing is going to be even more because of the types of initiatives that we have on the books.
And this is not really a question, but the curb appeal thing, I think that is so huge. I mean, I think it's got to be way up there on the list of things to do. It's
Yeah.
cleaning up the curb appeal and the hotels and the ratty yard, I mean, when you drive down the strip, there's a lot of eyesores. So I'm glad to, I'm just saying that to say, I'm glad to see that, and I hope that's pushed to the top.
I appreciate you bringing that up, and it actually made me think of something that I want to kind of preempt, and that is, we've added more attorneys. Well, yeah, because if we didn't, that would never happen. Because it takes me being able to look out over the horizon and see these problems and not be buried in the legal work of tickets and all the little planning things and just different things that we're dealing with. It allows me to have the open bandwidth to strategically plan and make good things happen in the community.
Well, I mean, we're a town of tourists, and if, they drive down the road, and if it looks ugly, it's ugly,
Yep. And, I think the city it would have helped a long time ago to have some attorneys focused on that, to work with the staff and the other departments on initiatives to clear that up, but they just haven't had that.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Clay?
Anybody? Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that was going to be my point, where Clay was addressing the aesthetics of it. I was going to address the operational component of it. And simply, as a Board of Aldermen and the city attorney being one of our hires, it didn't make sense for a very long time as to why we were outhousing everything, I had to use it in there. So, but no, I as the newest department within the city, I think it's great. I think, having that under one roof lets eyeballs be on, where the attention needs to be. I mean, we know what'll be white hot that we can pay attention to. And then you have the foresight to be able to delegate those things to other attorneys so that we can get the aesthetics things taken care of. Where before, we just didn't have the bandwidth for one attorney doing those kinds of things. And then you factor in all the litigation things that we're kind of faced with. It was an uphill battle all the time. And I think that now that we've brought it in-house, it definitely seems like it's a level playing field, and we're on offense a little more than we're on defense. So I think that's an amazing thing. And it was a great add to add those.
Yeah, and
extra attorneys.
strategically on that, Ralph, one of the things that I wanted to make sure happened was, I did business management for my undergraduate degree, so I studied, human resource management, all the different areas of business. And one of those in human resource management that you learn about is succession planning. And I knew if it was just me, I don't know where I'm going to be. Like I told Artie, I could be dead. So if that happens, where are we back at again? We're going outhouse, outside counsel, I should say. But I like to call it outhouse because it's not as good. So, having those other attorneys there, stuck in those positions, so if I'm gone and I'm out of the picture all of a sudden, you still have that continuity, the succession, because I don't ever want this again for Branson. It's never been good for him.
Did you guys have something, Alex?
Yeah, I was going to ask one. So up to this point, would you say that the city's caseload has seen an increase, or it's been the same? You're just taking a different approach as to handling those that caseload. Does it remain the same, or do we see an increase in caseload for the city?
For the municipal prosecution?
Across the board, legal services for the city of Branson, lawsuits and all the things you just described.
Well, lawsuits kind of ebb and flow. If, for those that were around during the landing, there was tons of litigation over that. And, tons of money that was spent on that. And frankly, we're still dealing with it. One of the cases that we have right now is a leftover. And so that's the one that hopefully will be done this month. But, it just ebbs and flows. And every case is different. So, you can have a case that takes, the full bandwidth of a whole attorney throughout the whole year. And then you've got, small cases that don't take much. So it's kind of hard to nail down. The municipal prosecution ones are easier to kind of like look at numbers and go, okay, 2,200, 2,100, so we've gone up a little bit. But like the civil litigation is just a little bit more tricky. Now, strategically, so I think if you ask administration, part of the reason why I was hired originally was because we were getting lots of threats of litigation. And it's my understanding, I wasn't around for those threats, but once I got here, I was informed later that that litigation threat just went away. And so it's like, okay, yeah, I can spin my wheels for the same dollars, no matter how long. I can be here working all year long against them, and it costs them money. So there's been some strategic decisions that I've been making with administration on how we deter litigation in the city. And part of that is you just have to, and I'm really grateful for the board's support, you have to really take a strong stance and a commitment that we will fight no matter what. And that's because we need to protect the city's dollars. If I have to pay out money for some dumb lawsuit, that means money out of these guys, the rest of these directors' pockets, because we have to pull the money from somewhere. So, that stance, also comes with difficulty, because sometimes that brings lawsuits. But once we establish that policy and that perspective and the outside that, the city means business, you better have a real lawsuit if you're going to sue, then I think that you'll see less. And so hopefully we'll, as time goes, we'll see that even go down. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. The only reason why I asked is because as we're explaining it to the community, and we do we've heard it a couple other ways. We look at communities like our size, we base our rates and other things based on people like us, just to answer those questions, the folks that say, hey, other municipalities of our our population and our economy, it's hard to replicate Branson, but they'll say that they'll have, one staff attorney and contract additional. What has Branson got going on that warrants the department size? So if that helps explain that, that's the goal of the question.
Yeah, and I'll explain a little bit more of that, and just kind of with a straight face, I make less than City of Republic's attorney does. I make less than the City of Ozark's attorney does, and that's so that budget can be spread out for other attorneys. So, and not just a little bit, a lot of it. So, so anyway, I appreciate that question. No, it's a good question, though. Really, it is, because it's like, okay, how do we justify this? But truly, our budget is unique, like you said, and our money that comes in, it comes from unique sources, and it creates an additional pressure on us, right? We have way more cases that we prosecute than some of those smaller towns around us with the same population size. Any other questions?
One final comment, and to that point, the amount of money that we were spending in litigation, we were just trying to capture some of that back by enhancing this particular aspect, this department, because of how much we were spending in outside litigation and outside attorneys. So I think, overall, we're a small city, but we operate like a big community, and with the number of people that our community swells to, that's the reason, and it's justifiable, in a sense, because, we've seen the attorney bills, we've seen those monthlies. So I think we're going to capture some of that back over the long haul as this team continues to get better and better. So,
I totally agree with that. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Amanda, Ross, it's your turn.
Hey, Clay?
Oh, sorry, Mayor. Yeah, you have something to add?
Yeah, I was just going to comment for Saul, and he doesn't have to come back up. But I wanted to say that in the years that I've been involved with the city, what Solon brings to the table is just the professionalism that the city of our side really does need. And I know between Solon working with Kathy Stepp and admin and bringing this whole new legal business model, I just wanted to compliment him and his department and tip my hat to him for what he's been doing for our city.
Yes, sir.
And those of us that have been on the board for a while, we've seen some of the other dilemmas we've gone through, and he is spot on. When we've had one attorney leave, either voluntarily or involuntarily, it was a start from beginning, going out to bids for new attorneys, and then just trying to plug them into all the cases we had. So this continuity will make a big difference.
Yes, sir. Glenn, you or Marshall have anything? I'll take that as a, oh,
Hey, Clay.
yes, sir.
I'll reiterate what the mayor said. Municipal attorneys are an interesting lot, and Solon's the best that I've come across. So I'll reiterate what the mayor said.
All right. Thank you, Bunny. All right, let's move on. Sorry, go ahead, Amanda.
Okay, let's talk planning and development. So here's a little bit of our department overview. Our department's composed of 4 key divisions. That's the building services, planning, licensing, and stormwater. Together, these divisions form the backbone of Branson's growth management and ensure safe construction, thoughtful planning, business compliance, and environmental stewardship. We currently operate with 16 full-time positions, with 19 proposed in 2026, each playing a vital role in supporting the city's growing development activity. Our structure allows us to deliver efficient service, maintain compliance, and handle the increasing workload associated with projects like the Gretna Road TIF. The organization is built around collaboration, customer service, and continuous improvement, keeping Branson open for business while managing growth. Here's a look at our 2025 budget versus 2026 proposed budget. The 2 largest increases in our 2026 budget are in contractual services and HR services. Contractual services for 2026 are up $131,750, primarily due to the use of a third-party plan reviewer. Our in-house plan reviewer handles all residential and sign reviews, but with the volume of commercial development expected for 2026, we simply don't have the bandwidth internally. Contracting out plan reviews will help us maintain turnaround times, meet ICC standards, and ensure projects like the Gretna TIF will move forward without delay. HR services are increased in 2026 by $166,607.50, allowing for 2 new building inspectors and 1 project lead dedicated to the Gretna Road project. These roles are critical to managing inspections, coordinating, and developer support on what will be one of the largest projects in Branson's history. For stormwater, the MS4 Fund 205, our contractual services in 2025 totaled $113,910.10, largely due to bay saver cleanouts. A major rain event, we discovered all 3 of our bay savers had significant sediment buildup, likely never cleaned since installation. So we did hire a third-party contractor for the cleanouts and established an every other year maintenance schedule moving forward to maintain compliance and functionality. The proposed stormwater budget is down 47.44% from 2025. Let's talk a little bit about some of the accomplishments. I have a lot to cover in a short amount of time, so bear with me. In our planning division, well, let's talk department-wide first. We had a major rebuild of our permitting platform. It's coming to completion now and will be fully live in 2026, January. The licensing department moved under planning and development, and we are onboarding a digital licensing platform. We have manually processed 2,845 business licenses year-to-date in 2025. We are super excited to bring this module online. It's going to save a ton of time, and it'll allow us to be a lot more efficient. We also assisted in the Lodging Safety Initiative, bringing over 60 properties in compliance. And then on the right-hand side of this slide here, you'll see a snapshot. It's a very small snapshot. I couldn't get all of the businesses in there. But these are a few of our major commercial developments completed in the city in 2025. Some of those, if you're not aware, Full Throttle Distillery, Truth Traveler, Texas Roadhouse, Whataburger, Domino's, Digtown, Lindenwell Winery, Sherwin-Williams, U-Haul, Buchanan Storage, Element Hotel, and Branson Police Department and Dutch Brothers will come to completion before the end of this year. The city has completed 5,781 plan reviews. We've issued 146 residential building permits and 357 commercial building permits, with over $64 million in construction value, reflecting the continued pace of growth and investment throughout Branson. Our planning department, we've had a few code changes. Our food truck ordinance was completely overhauled this year. Previously, they had to apply and wait for a review for each event and location, which is 7 to 10 days. anytime they wanted to have a food truck operating in the city limits. Now, a single inspection is done, and they receive a 1-year operating tag, allowing them to freely operate within city limits, saving time for both the applicant and staff. We updated our parking lot lighting standards to minimize glare onto residential areas and prevent light from impacting vehicles on streets and alleys, improving safety. Our farmers market ordinance was revised to ensure that the majority of vendors are agricultural producers, protecting the integrity of our market and supporting local farmers. We also modernized our minor subdivision code, allowing for up to 3-phase splits for LIHTC projects. This provides fairness and flexibility for developers who build in stages due to phased financing supporting low-income housing projects. Our Building Code and Safety Division this year, we made significant progress under our red tape reduction initiative, updating outdated codes to align with modern standards. We strengthened our dangerous building ordinance, clarifying definitions, enforcement steps, and standards for board up and abatement, giving staff the tools to act quickly when structures pose a safety hazard. The Board of Appeals process was fully updated to ensure fair, transparent, and consistent decisions align with ICC guidelines. And to manage the rising workload, we implemented a third-party plan reviewer to keep projects moving. We have had 3,350 inspections completed this year. Our inspectors have maintained excellent turnaround time and customer service, reinforcing that Branson is open for business. October 15th, we will launch the major permit fee overhaul on Citizen Serve. Fees will now be based on International Code Council building valuation data, the national standard across the U.S. Applicants will no longer self-report project values. Instead, fees will be based on square footage and construction type, ensuring fairness and consistency. We also completed a full overhaul of the Board of Appeals procedures, improving transparency and streamlining how appeals are reviewed and decided. Updates to the demolition regulations provide clear expectations for safety, site restoration, and debris management. And our dangerous building code revision now define unsafe structures more precisely, allowing for faster abatement and enforcement actions citywide. In our stormwater division, the city maintains 3 base saver systems, central, north, and south. I spoke about this a little bit earlier. They function as our underground stormwater treatment system that captures and separates sediment, debris, and pollutants before they reach our lakes. We also updated our land disturbance code so that parcels 1 acre or less no longer require a land disturbance permit. This change simplifies small project compliance while keeping environmental protections in place. The Stormwater Division achieved a successful audit with Missouri Department of Natural Resources for our MS4 program, demonstrating full compliance and strong performance in protecting our water quality citywide. Our community outreach, we continue to grow our stormwater story map, which is available on the city's website, and I encourage everyone to take a look at it if you haven't already done so. So some of the 2026 key initiatives, we have building on that board-approved board-up standard and dangerous building code. Our focus this year will be on addressing blight and revitalization. We'll work with administration, finance, and legal to launch a revolving loan fund to help fund demolitions, repairs, and reinvestment in distressed properties. The Gretna Road TIF will be one of our biggest undertakings, with dedicated staff overseeing coordination, inspections, and project delivery to keep development moving efficiently. The licensing division will roll out a fully digital licensing platform in Citizen Serve, giving business owners a faster, more transparent process for applications and renewals. Develop and implement a preventative maintenance schedule for base saver units, storm drains, and outfalls to extend service life and reduce emergency repairs. We would also expand our community education and outreach. In closing, I'd just like to say 2026 is shaping up to be a defining year for planning and development. With the Gretna Road TIF underway, a digital licensing platform launching, and proactive programs in stormwater, code enforcement, and revitalization, we're moving from vision to execution. Every code update, every inspection, every permit reflects a larger goal, making it easier to do business in Branson while protecting what makes our community unique. Our department commitment is clear: deliver results, support responsible growth, and ensure that Branson continues to thrive as a place to live, work, and invest. Thanks for listening to me.
Clay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when do you sleep?
Hopefully when my AD gets here in about 30 days.
So, this is a great example of a board initiative that was taken from our city administrator and passed down to a director. And when directors are given the opportunity to be leaders in their departments and not siloed and given the opportunity to shine and flex on their power, this is exactly what happens. And this, Clay, we heard it all the time. It's hard to do business in Branson. That was why. And all of those things that occurred this year, it's what's going to flip that narrative for us in the coming years. And that's just effective leadership, hands down, from the top down, all the way. Each department, not just fine. And this is the busiest, one of the busiest departments in this city.
Oh, yeah.
And look at the accomplishments that they have done. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You guys have anything down there?
2 questions. The first one, ma'am, thanks again for all that you guys do. You guys are very busy, and you guys do a lot of great things. On Citizen Serve, on the major overhaul, I know it's been brought up in committee and some other places. What's like the top 3 things that you've seen in the role? I've heard like substantive changes. We're married to it. We're going to work through this.
Yeah.
What are those top 3 things that you can tell? Maybe not a big developer, but a small developer. Really all of them, because like if you have a concierge team that's going to help you work through that significantly large project, it makes sense that they're going to have a streamlined process. But for the small guy and the average developer, what does that look like? What the #1 headaches that you're hearing from Citizen Serve that you guys have been able to circle back and say, hey, we recognize there's been some delays in communication. We recognize there's some lack of awareness and what these terms mean in Citizen Serve, because we're still hearing it. So I'm just curious so we can reiterate to them what we're doing to overhaul Citizen Serve shortcomings.
And we will be holding a study session probably here in council chambers to kind of go through all of those topics. But just off the cuff, I could say one of the biggest things for the small developer and the commercial developer is that it's using conditional logic. So there is not going to be any holdup. Once that permit and everything has been answered, all the questions that we need, we rebuilt every application that we have, and it is with conditional logic. So you have to be able to select something from the drop-down to be able to move forward. So that application is not even going to make it through to be accepted unless that information, that criteria that we need answered. That's the biggest. The other thing that I'd like to mention is now when you pull up an application internally, we can see every permit attached to the application. So like right now, if I pull up a building permit, I may not see a special use permit or a land disturbance permit. They're all linked together now. So that's going to help internally with plan review. There's so many, I don't want to give them all away, but we will be holding something here in council chambers to walk through that and kind of just allow the public to give feedback and just bring this to you as a whole and allow you to answer any questions or have us answer any questions that you may have.
Oh, that's great, thank you. Do you know when that date is, or is it set yet?
Yes, so October 15th, our building permits will go live. And then January of 2026, the full model will go into effect.
Oh, sorry, for the study session to get
I
feedback.
don't have that, but we'll make sure that our comms department gets that out, and internally as well. We'll probably send that out to a lot of our different contractors. We'll probably pull anyone in the system and just do a mass email and try to communicate that to everyone. We're super excited. We're hoping that it's a smoother process for everyone and pretty straightforward.
Anyone else?
I just want to follow up on something. Citizen Serve being what it is, it's not the best system out there, but it's a system that we inherited. And if we look back at kind of where this all started, it was deployed prematurely. It was shoddily set up. It was not implemented correctly. And we've had to go back and through this leadership, readjust and basically relaunch the program.
Rebuild,
Absolutely,
completely rebuild.
Complete rebuild, because it was not done correctly from prior administration and prior directors that were in that department.
Anyone else? Anyone online need to say something? Huh? Oh, Ruth. Go right ahead. Come on, Ruth.
I'm right here.
You're right there.
I blinked.
You're in the house.
Blinked, and look what happened. I am so impressed with every department's presentation tonight. With the planning department, unbelievable with what's taking place. A system used to be in place to where all that communication, it was easily accessed. Why past leadership decided that that wasn't important anymore? It sure put the burden on every single department. But thankfully, with our administrator, our department heads, working together as a team, this is amazing. Thank you for all the hard work. I look forward to planning and zoning meetings because so much information is presented. We are presented with everything that's needed to make a decision, which makes it so nice to bring it to the board. So thank you and every single director here for what you're doing.
And I just want to say thank you to my fellow directors as well. They have allowed my staff to work with them and take from their normal daily duties to help build their applications so that they will function like the rest of us. So thank you.
All right, we ready to move on? Thank you, Amanda. Next up, Chief Schmidt. Saw you stretching out back there. It's going to get real, ain't it?
Yeah, well, no. And I just want to start off by thanking the board, especially you, Clay and Ralph. When the attorney was going off about outhouses, I thought for sure we're going down the Schmidt house comment. So I very much appreciate your restraint with that. All right, so my overview, I'm going to take a stab at Chad here. I believe I have the best team in the city. We have just about 90 people in our department total, and the big thing with this organizational chart here is you're going to see a fourth lieutenant added there on the right, the administration commander. That is taking approximately 20 people out from under our support services commander, who was the first promotion I made when I got the chief, and he's back there. That's Eric Waymeyer. He used to look like Brad Pitt in Fury, but 2 years of dealing with all these people have turned him quite gray. So we are excited. We are having that assessment in November, and we will be adding that fourth one and dividing some of those responsibilities up so that our command staff can actually breathe. The assistant chief position remains open and vacant. I froze that myself because we want to grow. We have been working on succession training. We want to grow from within, and we just need some commanders to have seat time before we go there. And so we're hoping probably in 27 to look at that. Our 2025 accomplishments, it's been a big year. It's kept us going. The completion of the police facility, that, I'll tell you what, when you say it takes a village, I think every department in here has been involved with it. Chad mentioned it earlier. Of course, Mike in engineering, they have been just incredible. But things that you may not think of, utilities have saved our butts a couple of times with equipment, cranes, and things like that to keep the costs down. We are running way under budget and ahead of schedule, so we're excited about that. Mark your calendars for December 3rd for the ribbon cutting, and we're going to be pretty excited about moving in there. New dispatch center is progressing along. Quite honestly, it would have been ready to go this year. However, Motorola has to hook us all up, and they can't get to us until January, but we'll be following up that opening with the PD with a new dispatch center, which of course is going to be at the Pacific Tower. We implemented our Pro Phoenix, which is our CAD RMS. That was another large project, and we are live, and that is allowing us to do things that we haven't done in the past. We've covered that in a previous meeting. Proactive policing. Also in a previous meeting, we were able to note the improvements since 22. We've gotten to full staffing, and the drop in crime rates I've never seen in law enforcement. The double-digit drops over 50%, and some of those things that we can affect with proactive policing have been incredible. So real excited about that, and that will play into where you see our expenses increasing for 26. And of course, the community and family initiatives. There is a leadership theory about including everybody that you can in your in-group. And so what you see from the police department are us trying to encourage the community that we support you in just about anything that is out there. We are people too, and we want to get involved. You see the pink patches that we're wearing for breast cancer awareness this month. We have our PD spouses group that is active and helping us with PD initiatives. and of course, the more proactive approach to social media. We started off back in probably 21, 22, really strong, but when we lost an employee that focused on that for us, we kind of took a dive, and then Maria has been helping us ever since and got us back on track, so we're very thankful for her. We already talked about the PD being under budget and on time. The other accomplishments, the biggest thing you're going to see in here is the payroll increase. That is because a couple of years ago, you all approved us going to that 10-step system so that we could retain and recruit the best. So when you go from 22 steps to 10 steps, you have compression there of the pay, which is good for the officers and good for us, but that does cause our human resources costs to go up. We're also adding, besides that 4th lieutenant, the janitorial maintenance position because we're about to become homeowners in a very large building and need to keep that clean. One of the last initiatives that we're really excited about is with that Blue Shield grant. I just got advised earlier last week that we received the full $50,000 from Blue Shield, which is allowing us to pursue our Peacemaker laptops. We're combining that with what we had budgeted for our computers for the new PD, and that's going to allow us to issue laptop computers to each and every patrol officer and officer that we have so they can take them on training and everything, and we're not short computers anymore. Our capital projects for 2026, we are, of course, updating our patrol vehicles. We're at the end of life of several that we got on the initial lease. And then there is a big focus from our administration on officer safety. You guys read the news, you see everything we do. The ambushes and the long gun attacks on police have just increased exponentially over the last few years. And you know, you hate to say it, but it can happen here too. And I don't want to wait for it to happen and then say, well, we should have had that. We're going to proactively go after armor and things that we can do for our officers to keep them safe. So that's the big focus you see on 26. And with that, I will take any questions.
Go ahead.
Thanks again, Chief, for all that you guys do. I think a lot of people take it for granted, having somebody, you know, towing the line 24/7. You know, as a guy that's fought wars in other lands, that's one thing, and there's a time and a period for that. But then I come back home, and oh yeah, while I was over there, you guys were still doing your job. So thanks for putting it on every single day and going into an unknown environment for all of our betterment.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. I like to say that our rules of engagement are different here than they are overseas too. So we have to learn and be fluent with the law so that we can keep out of Solon or Salon's office.
Yeah. See, it has a nice ring, doesn't it?
Yes.
Anyone else? Ralph?
Yeah, I'll just say, thank you for the initiative and the oversight in the budget for the police station build. You know, that was a crucial part. It was a big unknown in the beginning. And, you know, even though midway through you were able to wrangle a lot of it in, I applaud you because it'll be mind-blowing when people walk and see that place. It'll absolutely blow people's minds. So thank you for being so diligent with the economics of that build.
And you'll hear me, I'm already prepared when we have that ribbon cutting. Ralph, I know we took some hits in social media and stuff about that. I'm telling you, we are accomplishing things because of that purchase that we would never have been able to do with a new build. And it's been phenomenal for us, so we are all excited about that.
Anyone else? Anyone online? No? All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
One chief to another. Come on down.
Good evening. As we get through, the mission statement expresses what our staff does every day, compassionately providing fire rescue services and everything else that goes beyond the mission statement. The vision statement expresses the big picture that we want to achieve kind of when we grow up, and that's to provide excellent services and continuous improvements in everything that we do. So here's a quick overview of what we've accomplished this past year. Obviously, Station 4 was a big win for the city in the past year, plus adding the personnel in position. So there's 51 operations personnel plus the 10 support staff from the chief on down in those roles. The incidents continue to stay steady. And one thing that we've accomplished with the addition of Fire Station 4 is reduction of overlapping incidents. And that's been a big win for us as well to improve response times across the community. Fire losses continue to remain low as we look at the prevention measures, the partnerships with our utilities department for water supply, with planning and zoning for the building construction services. All of that plays into being a very safe community. When you look into the budget for 25 proposed in the 26, you'll see that most everything remains flat. But how did we get here? Good goals and objectives, starting with our city leadership and fire administration and fire operations personnel. The fire operations staff managers, we have several that do everything from our bunker gear to fire hose to auto extrication equipment to health and wellness to everything that they do. Our staff are challenged with preparing those budgets on a 5-year model and then tracking that throughout the year, working on the contracts. So they get a little bit of engagement on that level of work as well. And that keeps, so just the fire chief saying, hey, I like this brand and let's just go get it. We get to use what the staff prefer to use on a day-to-day operations in the field. Then the budget program itself, overseen by Assistant Chief Houston with support from Office Specialist Tina Simmons as well. Those two work hard on the budget throughout the year. And then partnering support from Administration, Finance, Human Resources to prepare the fiscal budget. And those two directors have helped us immensely over the past year to get to today's presentation. The graph paints a picture of managed growth of the fiscal budget. It demonstrates growth primarily in our HR services and program step plan and employee benefits like loggers. As Chief Smith mentioned, we're also on the 10-step plan, so that does increase that on a rapid platform. Capital demonstrates the largest growth for this next year. As you see the police station coming on board, the administrator and the finance director, can I say you scraped up dollars to work towards a goal of really becoming real of adding a training facility that would be hands-on practical applications in a tower format for fire, but also police. And I think we'll be able to build into that program other resources for other departments. Like this past week, we did training on confined space with our utilities department. So it's a bigger picture initiative on some of that site property with the police station. So another win for that beyond just the police station itself. And that will be a program that will go on for several years to build that out. So when you look at the contracts and commodities, that's up a little bit, but when you see those numbers, the things that we programmed in and budgeted, that really keeps us on about an average of about $200,000 per fire station. So we're very strategic about the things that are purchased and used to sustain the operations for our personnel beyond the HR services and things like retirement and health insurance as well. Some of the accomplishments, we have 2 engines on order. In today's market, those take 44 to 46 months by the time you order and get in queue, do the pre-build, and then the build-out time and get it here. And that's unfortunately a national standard. So you have to be strategic about when you order so you can get it before your apparatus gets in positions that Michael's team down the shop start scratching the head of maintenance issues with apparatus. Station 2 is wrapping up with water infiltration and intrusion and remodeling. And you just see some of these projects that have come through, and a lot of support from all departments plus our city staff to make these things happen throughout the year. I will say that your firefighters work hard every day to be prepared, fit, well-trained, oftentimes exceeding national standards. They're in the best equipment and fire apparatus that you can buy, and they all have the desire to serve with excellence. And so I think you see that across the board with all the city departments. In 2026, we have a couple of projects that are coming over from the previous years, including the 2 engines and some mobile radios, for example. And then in 2026, we're looking forward to the opportunity to see if we can make the training center become real. That's where I say we're kind of, these two are working hard in multiple areas to try to find that funding to make it happen. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that will support not only our department, but others as well. This request really focuses on that area, plus repeater upgrades, maintaining equipment that we have. And so there's a lot of things that they time out, time stamped. You know, in aviation, you've got so many startups and runs. So that's where we're at on a lot of our equipment as well. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you for your support and for your guidance and direction, and we look forward to 2026.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone have any comments? Or anybody down there?
Thanks again for all you do. Nobody wants to spend money on it until their building's on fire, so
Yeah.
thanks for all that you do.
Got a
Really
great team.
appreciate it.
So
That's right. Thanks, Chief.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Now we have Michael Woods, Public Works and Engineering, coming on down.
They didn't let me start this year, 3 years ago, and they didn't let me clean it up at the end this year, so I'm kind of right in the middle. There you go. 5 minutes, and I'm going to give it all back to Solon for his 25. There we go. So, department overview. I think we've gone over this many times, but maybe somebody tunes in today and is like, what do they actually do for us, and how does it all work? We run capital, we run streets, run a sign shop that takes care of all your signals and stoplights and all that good stuff. We do the engineering. We work pretty hard on 76 ECID. I enjoy rants and buzz and reading that stuff too, and seeing what about us? Well, what about us is coming, as Solon highlighted. He closed one of the missing pieces. And as I've listened to everybody's conversations today about their budget and things, I was reflecting on what we've done the last year, and I'm thankful for my staff. I'm thankful for this board. You invested in my staff. I'm thankful for Alex and Kathy. Thank you for Matthew that's back there. Without everyone in every department working together, I really say that to you guys. I'm like, well, I'm going to get up there and talk about what everyone else talked about. So we have a small little piece in all these contracts, making sure that they run well and do things well. So I wanted to start with that. 2025 versus 2026, when you're going through things in public works and engineering, you have these highs and lows in projects. So you go real fast, you go real slow. You get your contracts in line, you get your design development. Lots of people don't realize commercial development takes a year to what's on paper versus the concrete you walk this weekend in downtown are two total different animals, but they get built together because that piece of paper tells you exactly how high that step is, and it's in a virtual model before you walk that step. So hopefully you like some of that. Some of the highlights that are on there is we really looked at cutting corners, right? Ever since I took over this department, I said, if you manage the pennies, the dollars always follow. With the help of Allison, she said, hey, you really don't use all this money all the time. So we take more of a conservative approach, and so you'll see 22% down in commodities, 20% in contractual. Slow it down just a little bit, take a look at what we have. We did have a 12.5% uptick in HR services, which everyone had, and the first thing I said this morning, I'm like, how is that possible, right? So at the end of the day, by the time you do insurance and you do a little bit of COLA, 5%, 1% COLA, and up to 4% for people that are working super hard, 5%, boom, you're at 12% pretty quickly. But overall, I'm excited to be one of the people that are saying my budget's slowing down, and I'm thankful to Kathy and Alex for slowing down my budget a little bit. I started here with all brown hair, and now I'm getting really gray. So key accomplishments of 2025, and I won't belabor any of this, but I did want to, really the highlights. So historic downtown streetscape. Ransom Police Station, been nothing but a joy to do with Chief. I've put thousands of hours into that project, and Matt has too, and Chief has too, and it's funny, people talked about it's a village of people. It's everybody sitting in here, and it's really nice to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, Chad, what do you think about IT services? What about camera placement? Man, I couldn't tell you, like, he's got every inch of that thing covered in there. How do we land stuff? Or Kendall, thanks for helping us out and get me out of quite a few pickles, we'll put it that way. So little hiccups in a remodel, and imagine remodeling a house and then do it on the square footage that we did. And again, thank you to Alderman LeBlanc for having that vision to buy that building, and it is amazing. Fire Station 2, Ted went over shortly. That was fun. We did the remodel and the design and construction that, and Ben Bonner, super fun. Fire Station 3, driveway removal, rooftop, true maintenance, HVAC that's there. Dispatch, we got to join into that on Kendall's tower design. And like I said, if it's super successful, Kendall's group did a great job. If it's unsuccessful, Michael didn't manage it. There it is. So Highway 76 and 165 design intersection, that's pretty exciting. That's Gretna. We did that in parallel with 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 is a big part of 76, and we are very, 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 very close. I'm excited. So takes years to get stuff to that. Elevate Branson public improvements. Some of the improvements that you see Brian talk to you guys about are funded from a grant. We run that grant. We make sure the streets are in, the sewer, stormwater, so on and so forth. Keith was involved in the design, and like others have said in these meetings today, picking up the pieces as somebody else leaves is sometimes difficult, but we get through it. City Hall roof replacement, that was kind of fun. Extraordinary, didn't know it was coming. You know, hailstorm makes a mess of things, and so transportation master plan should be done, including a pavement management plan. So those are big steps to really identify where you want to go in the city, what you want to do, and then we took equipment that we had talked to you guys about before and looked all over the city and really got a number attached to each roadway that you're at. That helps us make sure that we're spending the dollars on the asset that's there. Caldell Box construction, that one's complete. Celtic, if you live near there or drive near there, they had a bridge and don't have a bridge and now have a brand new culvert, and very quickly the company that's doing it will have it back open. They're fast. So West 76, excited. Again, thank you to Solon getting the one piece that we couldn't solve, and he's good at that. So securing all easements for 76, 1 and 2 and recording. That's one of the biggest steps in any project that you do, is making sure that all the owners are on board. Securing all the TAP grants. We went after all types of grants. Alex and Kathy and other members found all types of money, and you know, when it's not city taxpayers' money, but it's state and federal money, it's still taxpayers' money, but at the end of the day, it's more that we can do here and more of the great projects we can do. Completion of West 76 Country Boulevard, segment 1 and 2, that was on the phone with just shortly before coming to this meeting. We're very excited. They're at the 98 percentile right there, so let's get that funding taken care of, and that should roll next year. So very quickly. 2025, so a little different accomplishments and success. So, you know, the streets guys, sign shop guys, all those guys that are there, we have quite a few employees. So 2025 mill and overlay is ongoing now, so you'll see some new streets, and I know we get some neighbors excited to not have gravel streets in front of them. With paint striping, again, thank you. 2 years ago, you invested in a paint striping machine. I can successfully say it was 100% painted. Everything that we owned was taken care of. So that investment is paid off now. It's pure profit, so other than the materials. So super excited about that. Fuel tank design and installation. We're moving the fuel tank from one location to another, which will serve the police department. They run vehicles 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they literally drink water and gasoline up there, I think. So they go through it. So yeah, Eric's not here, so he's not yelling at me. So improvements to GIS data of stormwater. We got a gentleman in our office that's very good at that and worked with Trayson down in Amanda's department, and really increased the data that's there. Data collection takes a long time, and you know, I feel for them. I'm thankful that they got in the weeds and got everything taken care of and pop lids, and they've made a huge dent in that. Sidewalk repairs throughout the city. Projects we forget about are ready. I was like, what else have we done? RV park design, street construction contract administration, that opened this year, so that was exciting. Traffic signal improvements, service center equipment improvements, fleet manager, another part that we manage, so the fleet from the police cars all the way down to the tractors. Like we try to help everybody and identify how that works and make sure things are getting moved in and out. And Allison's been awesome to work with, and we're doing some in-house leasing where we go to the bank, and it makes things like dump trucks and snow plows that cost lots and lots of money more affordable. So never affordable. And of course, we finished up with Branson Summit Ridge design for a little bit of dirt work that needs to be done up there, and that's out to bid now. 2026 capital improvement projects, so construction of segment 1 and 2, so 256 pages of data and points that are there. Super excited. 2026 mill and overlay. TAP grant, which is Hawk pedestrian crosswalk segments 1, 2, and 3 being where Mr. Cooper place is, and we're going to go back and clean up some of those crosswalks. I want it to be the safest place to cross the street in the United States. That's what I want out of it, and we'll see how it does. Cliff Drive, they're working back there in Hiawatha Heights. Once they're done with that, we're going to take out the bridge that's there, the stormwater that's there, and replace that. It's aging and it doesn't work as well as it should. A couple other highlights are Branson Hills parking lot improvements and Branson Landing parking lot improvements. So it's kind of interesting. So he's got lots of street lights, but the street lights are maintained by all different types of entities. Problem with it is, if you build it in 2000, we're 25 years later. The heads of them are no longer that way. There's LEDs. There's a cost to doing it. The city owns them, but somebody else maintains them. And so we're going to work through that and improve them, but we're not going to take them back. So they were bought originally, but the improvements are some of those things. Pat Nash Drive, picked that street up. That's over by Whitewater. And we need to do some lighting improvements, brand new Element Hotel over there. Definitely tourists grown. Traffic controller upgrades, not very exciting. Getting in and out of cabinets and taking care of that. Shepherd of the Hills, lots of bridge maintenance that we need to do. We're going to loop back to Fire Station 1 roof. We're trying to squeeze that in at the end of the year, but we've been really busy. But I think we might pull that one off actually this year. So equipment and vehicle replacement over 12 years. It's amazing to me how many vehicles we have that are 13, 14, 15 years old, and they're expensive and they're showing their life. And so street sweeper replacement, we already sold the other one off. It's long gone, and happy with its new owner that gets to take care of all of its problems. Public Works building design, you've funded this before. We ask for it every year, and we're working through it. So at some point, you know, we'll stop living at Kendall's basement, maybe. There it is. So look at that. There he popped up. He was awake. So City Hall chiller replacement, you'll see that on administration if they haven't presented that already, but pretty sure we'll be involved in that. City Hall first floor remodel, I'm pretty sure we'll be involved in that. It is a pleasure to work here. I appreciate everything that you guys do for us, and hope you fund everything.
Well, I'll lead off. I know you got beat up a little bit over this whole downtown thing, you know, on social media, but welcome to the club.
Yeah.
But if these people that write anything about you, if they were around you at all like we are, they would see the heart and dedication of this guy. And I know you give a lot of kudos to your team, as you should, but that motivation and that inspiration just trickles down from the guy that you are. And every time he gets up, I'm just really inspired by how you just got it going on, man.
I really appreciate that.
Seriously. I mean, you know what I mean? I
appreciate my staff. It's not me. It's
no,
not one director.
I'm not saying
it's super important. So.
But they follow you got this thing about you that you want to get it done and you're excited about it. And that all, you know, if you were a Debbie Downer, they'd all be Debbie Downers. You know what I mean?
There's days. No,
anyhow, great job. Anybody else?
I think the word you're looking for is enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the one thing. You can come here first thing in the morning or late in the evening, and that fellow is enthusiastically supporting his staff and every aspect of what the city needs to get done, even in the worst times, in knee-deep snow and everything. So why would his staff follow him? Because he will do exactly what he expects of them. And he's proven that over and over again. So thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Even though you gave me a false cell phone number, I still think I'm talking to you.
Hey, I appreciate that. That's Matt's cell phone number.
Is it Matt?
So.
Matt, I take back everything I said. That was all about Matt.
We learned that quick. So
it was all about Matt.
That worked out good.
Yeah, it did work out good. Well, Matt, thank you.
I give out Kendall's business cards too on the weekends. So there you go.
Like for a week or two, I'm like, oh, that wasn't me. That was Matt. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Matt, for all that you do. Anybody else? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Kendall Powell, sewer, our favorite topic.
I'm always on the receiving end.
Yes.
Right, good evening. All right, we'll get right to it. So department overview, I want to highlight that there are 6 divisions. So we have our admin division, water treatment, water distribution, sewer collection, lift stations, wastewater treatment, and biosolids. Biosolids is kind of our stepchild, but it's a unique division where it's a totally separate budget from that the city sees. It's a JMUC, so it's a Joint Municipal Utility Commission that we belong to, and we operate and manage that as well. So that's a great task to do. So I want to highlight that we have an amazing team, just like everybody else has highlighted, but we do have an amazing team at Utilities of 63 positions budgeted for 2025. They've done a phenomenal job. We are asking for one additional position in 2026, which consists of an assistant engineer, and that's due to the multiple major infrastructure projects that spanning over the next 15 years, in which we need staff bandwidth to effectively initiate and to complete those projects. Retention has, I would like to say, drastically improved following the implementation of the 2023 salary adjustments, as well as the 2025 position matrix. The proposed 2026 budget includes promotions for staff meeting the next level in their growth plan. 2025 budget versus 2026 proposed budget. So this proposed budget is configured to preserve the level of service we provide to the public, as well as to improve the health of the utility, and with a heavy focus on proactive maintenance. In blue, you'll see the 2025 numbers, and in 2026, you'll see in bronze. Overall, we're asking for a 14% increase in our O&M. 12% of that is personnel costs, which many have highlighted. The staff, of course, insurance increase, merit raises, COLAs, also includes promotions for staff in their growth plan, and that additional position as well. 18% increase in contractual. I'm going to highlight that's largely due to Liberty Electric utility company and their rate increases. That's roughly a $400,000 increase to our budget. And then we have 15% in commodities, and that's repair parts increase. We're seeing parts continue to rise, as well as chemicals for operations. Capital replacements, you'll see this number vary from year to year based on the needs and available funding as well. And then key 2025 accomplishments and successes. So operations and maintenance, again, this is just a small portion of our accomplishments and successes. Again, my staff does a phenomenal job. I cannot be more proud of them and what they do every day. Operations and maintenance, we have treatment standards, producing top-notch water. This water is amazing when it comes out, and they're improving it. They've been working on some things this latter part of this year to even improve that, and so I'm excited for that to hopefully implement it in 2026. Fire hydrants, we have regulatory requirements we have to meet. So as of mid-September, we inspected every fire hydrant the city of Branson owns. That's over 1,000 hydrants, and meeting those goals. And then water valves, we have a certain number of valves we have to inspect every year, meeting the state requirement, and we've already managed to hit that as well. Cybersecurity assessment, Chad touched based on that a little bit earlier in his presentation, so I really appreciate his team and the support he provides us. We're a heavy workload for him with the SCADA system, with all of our network controls that we have, PLC controllers for operating treatment plants. They do a phenomenal job helping us with that. Sewer collection has really stepped up their game with the added staff that you guys supported back in 2023 and the retention efforts that were made. We've managed to keep people in our sewer collection division with as well implementing the hazard pay. And they have been proactive, and they are finding things left and right, and they are working through those things as quick as possible. So I'm very excited to hear those reports weekly from that division. Regulatory compliance, we're doing a phenomenal job there. And again, staff retention has been amazing. Again, we still have a pretty young staff, average around 5 years of experience. My goal is to get that to that 10-year mark to be optimal and efficient as possible. Capital replacements, PLC network switches, Chad's team's helping us with that as well. That's we actually kick off this month. A water and wastewater master plan, we completed the first phase of that earlier this year, and we obtained some valuable information about our system and water treatment filter media. So again, these are just small, or this is just a small amount of their accomplishments, but that water treatment filter media, we did that in-house. We spent roughly, I think, around $80,000 on material. We saved the city roughly around $300,000 by doing it in-house with staff. They did an amazing job. It was hard work, but they stuck it out and completed it in a timely fashion. So, and the Recplex Tower rehab, so that's with the famous pirate logo. We got that. That's the last tower that needed to be renovated. So we're very appreciative of that. And capital infrastructure, Compton Drive flood protection. We've wrapped up that project early this year. And then Hiawatha Heights improvements. We began in construction this last month, and that's underway. And Lakeview Estates improvements design is on track and on schedule to be completed at the end of this year and hopefully out to bid next year. Advanced metering infrastructure, we are actually starting to receive material in for that project, and it'll start this month as well. So key components for capital projects for 2026, as a part of our wastewater master planning and our real world experiences that we're having, I'm requesting to begin the engineering for the Cooper Creek wastewater treatment expansion. So this is a huge project for Branson. It'll be expanding the treatment plant from a 3.4 million gallon day capacity to a 6.8 million gallon day capacity. This was actually brought up back in 2015, but was postponed. We completed the anti-degradation study of Lake Taneycomo at that time. We have to evaluate that and renew that request through DNR before we can begin engineering. But this is a project that's been in the works for several years, and part of a 20-year larger plan, master plan itself. Now, Lift Station 30 is a part of that. We can't conduct a Lift Station 30 project without expanding the treatment plant. So the whole goal of Lift Station 30 is, again, to move wastewater from the Roark Valley, which initially ends up in the Compton Drive facility, which Compton Drive, as you know, is restricted in the area. We do have a flood wall around it now, so there's no room for growth there. So we got to remove capacity or take away flow from that treatment plant to build capacity and back into it for growth of Branson in the future. So this is, again, 20-year project in the making, and we're requesting to begin engineering on that. And again, that would convey wastewater from Roark Valley over to the Cooper Creek Valley. Lakeview Estates neighborhood improvements, water system improvements. Again, that's on schedule for completion of design, and we're asking to begin construction next year. As far as for major capital and infrastructure, I talked in detail about the three. The fourth one is the generators for Compton. Capital replacements itself, we have 29 projected for 2026. Out of that 29, this will be existing components such as pumps and VFDs and electrical blowers and various items around our facilities. And part of those 29, there's multiple components in that. So an example will be our lift station pump rebuild and replacement. We'll do roughly around 9 to 10 pumps a year out of that single line item. And then I wanted to show a capital budget funding illustration of where our funding came from and projected to come from in the future. And you'll see in green would be our sewer sales tax funds. So this is funds we request from the county. We request projects every year. For 2026, I've requested over $4.6 million worth of projects, as you guys, it was brought to the board in the last board meeting for approval. It does not mean we'll receive that amount of money. They have very limited funds. So I'm hoping we can stay on our track with our close to $1.7 million each year. That's been a big help for us. Water sewer rates, you'll see in 2024, 2025, we've kind of slowly started to increase from 2 million to 2.7 million. 2026 is 4.6 million. That's largely due to pushing capital projects from year to year, trying to keep rates low. So it's all bundled up into 2026. And then 2027, you'll see it's at 3.8, and then it starts to taper back down as we catch up from COVID years and past experiences. Water sewer tourism tax. You'll see, again, history of 2024, 2025. We're proposing for 2026. 2027 is the outlier. That's the Cooper Creek wastewater treatment plant expansion at roughly 40 million. And then you have lift station 30 expansion at 12 million itself. So that's a huge cost to the city to do those projects. And then as you see, it starts to taper down a little bit, and it'll start ramping back up when you get further out in 2020 or 2030 as additional projects come online. Happy to answer any questions.
Well, I've heard you say it many times, it's not a glorious thing you do, but how important is it, right? I mean, as a citizen, I mean, I don't really care sometimes, I just get up and expect my water to be there. I'm gonna wanna brush my teeth and, have my morning coffee. I want the toilet to flush and, and nobody really thinks about it or cares until it don't, and then you're ticked off at somebody, right? So, great job. I mean, no jokes, but I mean, you really know your crap. It's good, man. It's good. Sorry, I had to. Anybody else? All right. Who we got next? Josh. Josh is here, Assistant Director of Parks and Rec.
Hello.
Hello.
So, obviously, I'm not Cindy. Just going to acknowledge.
Really?
Elephant in the room. Cindy says hello. But yeah, Josh Auburn, Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation. So let's talk about fun stuff, because that's what we do. We're fun. 23,000 people visited the Aquaplex this year, best year we've had since it's opened, so we're talking 20 years. 23,000 visitors, not like random visitors. Our community visited. 7,000 people visited special events, came to special events we've hosted. So Bonanza, Breakfast with Santa, Adopt a Senior. Again, community events. 5,500 youth sports participants, football, soccer, basketball, baseball, softball, our community. And that's really what we represent as our community. The tourists, right? We have a strong tourism market, but it's definitely our community. We're happy every time our community visits us, comes to the Recplex, comes to our facilities. We love it. We hope you guys love it as well. 16 city parks, 462 acres, 17.83 miles of trails. That's current. We'll talk in a couple minutes kind of what a vision is, but that's today. So those numbers at the very bottom, grand totals, we're asking for less money. Yay. A lot of that is highlighted because of a new position that we did hire, a skilled trade technician. He has done wonders. It's less contractual labor that we need to do. He's an electrician by nature. He's learned the HVAC systems. I mean, him and Jim Cartwright this morning spent 8 hours on the roof today. When we came in this morning, it was probably 75, 76 degrees in council chambers. I think right now, I can kind of see it, 70 degrees. So those two individuals spent 8 hours on the roof today, working with specialty air to bring them in for us tonight. So we're more than Parks and Recreation. We also do some building maintenance, and I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Jim Cartwright, who I'm sure a lot of us in this room know, appreciate what he does and everything that him and his staff do for our city to keep it looking great. Definitely one of the things that we're looking for next year, which is why commodities are up a little bit, as well as capital, continuation of city beautification. I'm sure you guys know 250th anniversary is coming up. If anyone came through the first floor entrance today, kind of those rocks and different plants that are down there. So it's a continued effort of beautification of the city, of City Hall, of buildings. And that's one of our focuses for next year, which is why those two areas are up a little bit. Oops. So fun stuff. This year, from January 31st to March 13th, 6 weekends of college softball on the new turf fields. $2.2 million into the Branson economy came in because of those 6 tournaments that did not exist before the turf fields. And that's something we, again, want to acknowledge and thank the board for. 2 years ago on dirt would not have been possible. So it's a combination of the vision through administration, the vision through the board, of how can we extend our season, how can we go into that shoulder season, not just helping us, but helping the community, helping the businesses. I mean, we've heard through different hotels, different restaurants, their Q1 has beaten other major cities across the country, have beaten Orlando. So that's a huge testament to kind of our staff and the vision that our staff has been able to do through your vision and guidance, so we thank you for that. The new campground opened. Michael mentioned it a little bit, 31 new sites right on the lakefront. If you guys have not seen it, it is amazing. Just the Discovery Channel's coming in 2 weeks, so we're really excited for that. I think we have someone up there that's gonna maybe sing a song.
I hadn't heard about that. Maybe it might be you.
So again, those are tourism driven. Let's talk about community. The capital asset replacement plan has been amazing for us over the past 2 years, especially last year, this current year, this past year. Parnell Park, Nygaard Park, 2 new playgrounds. Those old playgrounds, either hand-me-downs from schools that were there, the old CAM building that were there, moving from Eisman, so different playgrounds that we inherited, 20, 25, 30 years old. We put in brand new playgrounds. The one down at Nygaard is the first 2 to 5-year-old specific playground in the city. So the diversification that we're looking to do with these types of playgrounds, again, all because of the commitment you guys have made into that reinvestment into the community, and we thank you for that. The water slides at the Aquaplex, completely refurbished. Gel coat, lamination, painting. I know it's not sexy, it's not pretty, but it's a maintenance issue, and it's a safety issue. And again, without the capital asset replacement plan, we would not have been able to do that. So once again, thank you. Some of the comments we've heard is they go just as fast as they did in 2005. If you follow us on social media, on Facebook, there's going to be a video coming out of our pool manager, Bunny, trying to go down it without water. It's going to be amazing to watch. But again, it just highlights the little necessities that we've been able to do through that funding, and we thank you guys so much for that. The big one is the skate park down at Stockstill. It's been interesting. It's been something that's been in the works since going back to this time last year. We're happy to say through Solon and his staff, we've been able to complete that contract, secure that contract. It's coming. New skate park, new features, concrete taco, half pipe. It's coming, and we're super excited for that. And it's a community that often either gets a bad name or a bad reputation. It's a community we care about. It's a community we want to help, and we're excited for that. So again, fun stuff. More fun stuff we'd like to do next year. Mountain bike trails. So right behind the building, there's some acreage back there that we are looking to construct some trails. We're currently working with Rogue Trails, looking to finalize that design and construction concept, where they'd be able, as part of the contract, being able to deliver us construction documents that we can turn right around and go back out to bid. And that's our hope, is early next year, we're out to bid for this system. It's probably gonna be a 2 or 3 phase thing. We're also looking at a recreation trails program grant to help supplement that funding. In total, it's about 8 acres of what the concept is, and we believe we can get close to 5 acres through funding for next year. The bicycle skills course. So that's a concept and something we've learned through different conferences we've gone to. Columbia has a great one. They're a great model for Missouri. Bentonville's an amazing model for the area, the Southwest Ozark area. This is crucial to tie into the mountain bike trail just because it's a safety learning environment, right? We don't want a 5-year-old just to go down a hill. That's a little dangerous. So being able to do it in a controlled, safe environment is great. We have land behind the FM shop at Stockstill along the Roanoke Creek Trail that lends itself to this. So it's flat land, not out of the floodplain, but high enough that if that floods, we have different things to worry about. But it's definitely a great location for that. It's close enough to the pump track where it can still lend itself to each other, but it's a dedicated space for young and inexperienced riders to be able to hone their skills, be safe, and grow their skills together. Trail connectivity, that's a big one. One of the things that that you guys, that the board approved last year was a new position for us, a Trails Coordinator position. That's something that has really allowed us to focus on the trail connectivity. I mean, she's been amazing. Laura Perry has been amazing. She's also pulling double duty with the landscape, so she's the one that made the beautification downstairs. So she definitely has a strong interest in this. She's going out there. She, once again, is working with Solon's department, the legal department, working on easements, refining that language. It comes down to community engagement, and that's one of the things we pride ourselves on is the community engagement, and one of the things we really want to do. So the trail connectivity, our vision, connect Lakeside through the landing, up Rowalk Creek, and out to Henning. That would add close to 10 miles of trails for the city. So that quality of life for our city would be absolutely amazing. Being able to, in theory, park at Lakeside and take I believe it's about 4 miles total, a 4-mile walk along the lakefront down to the landing. So just different options for our community, our visitors into the community would be such an amazing quality of life for Branson. And then, of course, we asked for this multiple years. Our future goal is turf in the soccer field. So that's something that would allow more tournaments, but more opportunities for locals. I mean, right now, our soccer players, they play on the grass fields next to us. When it rains, it's tough. With turf, they'd be able to practice at the Recplex. We'd then be able to, in turn, look at Alexander and Stockstill, and what else can we do for that? Can we do something bigger? Can we do something better? And not just utilize them as practice fields. So it all ties in together there. I mean, one of the things that we're looking at, again, new programs, new activities, new facilities, not just for today's families, but future generations to grow up and enjoy with. I mean, that skate park, when it put in, I believe Cindy may have put that in 20, 25 years ago. It's lived its life. We want new stuff for new generations, the next generation to enjoy and grow up with. Just as we all have memories growing up, that's how we feel our job is. What can we do for today's generations, the next generations? So again, we thank you so much for your support. What we've been able to accomplish for our community is just absolutely amazing. If there's one thing we can hang our hats on is we know how to stretch a dollar. We know how to get the most out of that dollar. So yeah, I mean, these new improvements, new facilities, they've been incredible for who we serve and what we stand for. So we thank you guys, and if there's any questions, I'd be happy.
Thank you, Josh. That's exciting, the thought of maybe getting those turfed over there and utilizing that for sure. And I've heard a lot about the skate park recently. Like, I'm glad to have you yeah. It's pretty rough. It is pretty rough. So that's cool to get. I mean, I'm not a skater. I did ride a hoverboard once and broke my rib, but I don't skate. What else was it? And Stockstill, that's exciting to think about how we could utilize that, because it does seem like it's just kind of, that's a lot of land. I know it floods a lot, but man, it'd be great to be able to do something with that. So
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear all that.
It's definitely gone through its different life iterations. Used to be 2 ball fields, and then a flood knocked it out, and now it's soccer fields, practice soccer fields. And I mean, we're excited to see what could that be. And that's part of a master plan.
In the early 90s, we were in a theater league. We had tons. I mean, we played softball there twice a week for 10 years. Every theater in town had a team. That was the hangout. So, and that's, you know what I mean? So that's cool that y'all are thinking about that. That's all I got. Should you go ahead?
Josh, thanks for the presentation, and you and Cindy do an amazing bang-up job of making sure that the quality of life in this community is heads and shoulders above the rest. All of these projects, you know, kind of the complexion of them, to some look unimportant, but when you look at what the impact that just turfing the fields had to our economy, you know, we don't just make these decisions haphazardly just because money's there, but we make them because they can have an impact economically on the whole community, not just for the community that lives here, but also for the people that visit here. And, you know, you guys are just always right on point. And I want to, You mentioned one of the aldermen and the trails connectivity. That would be our own Marshall Howden, who's not with us tonight. He's a big trails guy, and he's definitely headed up that initiative. And with this board support, that's what it takes. Just those cooperative minds, just thinking outside of the box and doing things not just because it sounds cool, but because it is cool. And that's what I see happening here. And boy, what a transformation it's going to be for my grandchildren to grow up with bike parks and concrete half pipes and all those
Tacos.
skate parks and things
Concrete
like that.
tacos.
Concrete tacos, yeah, there you go. And turf fields. I just love it. I think it's absolutely amazing. The vision that you guys are putting up here is incredible. And as one of the departments that nearly generates its whole economic, impact through the campgrounds and things like that, kudos to you guys. And Cindy, get well soon. Keep on healing.
Anyone else?
Clay?
Yeah. Oh, I knew Marshall was going to say something. Again. Yeah, but
Hey, I appreciate what Ralph just said. Listen, Trails connectivity is going to be really, really cool when that completely comes to fruition. Two things I wanted to bring up since this is a budget meeting and we're talking about parks is, and maybe this is a pipe dream, but maybe turf at one point was a pipe dream too. But if at any point in the future we could get some kind of a grant or make it possible to have grandstands at one of those turfed fields at the Recplex, I think our tournament capacity, even when it comes to some maybe like postseason college softball, could be really, really incredible. That's number one. And then number two, when I used to be on the Parks Board and we would look at budgets, one of the line items that always struck me is that we look at the revenue for the campground, look at the revenue for this, the concession stands, and one of the revenue areas that had a big flat zero in it was parks. And so, I always thought it would be really neat if we could have some kind of branding for our parks, merchandising. So I just want to continue, because this is a budget meeting, to kind of bring those kind of items up and then hope we can see that come to fruition. Because like Ralph said, this is a great department that kind of carries its own, but I think there's still potential to grow, and some of those items could be great. So thank you.
Anybody else? Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Okay. Last but not least, here comes Alex.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Board and Finance Committee. Appreciate your time this evening. First, just want to say congratulations on an excellent performance to our director team this evening. I think through this process, you've truly seen the energy and passion that our team has in serving this community and our taxpayers and our business community. And that's really one of the reasons why we wanted to have this briefing this evening, because it provides the context and the color to what the finances show and what you appropriate as a Board of Aldermen. And as the executive branch, it's our job to propose that budget as a professional staff here, but also to help guide you through that process and ultimately, once adopted and appropriated, to implement. And so my presentation tonight will provide a city overview as well as administration accomplishments. But really, this is truly the most important bill that the Board of Aldermen passes each year, to the tune of over $100 million. And so this is a process that we take so seriously from a transparent and open and accountable perspective. And that's why Allison, of course, walked through how we've this year really increased that level of attention to those details, of allowing opportunity to provide the Finance Committee to review and recommend at their 23rd meeting to the Board of Aldermen, and ultimately then providing 30 days from first read to second read for additional public comment and input. And so we welcome that. We encourage the conversation tonight after I close things out, but also in between then. Please reach out. Happy to answer any questions you have. That's an important part of this process. So I'm going to give a little bit of an overview of our department. We currently have 6 full-time positions. The city administrator, the chief of staff, the strategic initiatives coordinator, a communications manager, an administrative office specialist, and an enterprise implementation project manager. To give you a little overview of our budget, We went up about 5% over the prior year. We were able to have some cost savings through some various positions of combining some positions and duties and responsibilities in administration, really make the most out of what were appropriated, and to make sure we're really following through on implementing the board's guidance and decisions. And so with that, though, of course, needs change. And so one of those positions in particular is the Enterprise Implementation Project Manager. That's a position that we really felt was critical to make an investment in, to implement a lot of the software that you heard about this evening, whether it's the ERP, whether it's CitizenServe, whether it's UKG, all the way down to police and fire and their various software systems. And so we really wanted to take a really clear look and make sure that we're investing in administration as an enterprise-wide department, really taking the vision that you put forth and implement that. You'll notice our budget slightly went up. That's particularly because of our comprehensive plan. We have a provision in here for about $75,000 to help us complete that plan and explore a couple of other components of it that are going to be very helpful. I want to talk a little bit about 2025 accomplishments and success. Really kind of break it down to 4 main buckets, particularly start and successful completion of major capital projects, successful implementation of major policy initiatives, successful economic development initiatives, and improvement of city government and processes. This is just a short list of a lot of the capital projects that our city team completed this year. I want to really point out, though, a couple unique aspects I don't think you find in a lot of other cities. One, just the breadth, right, of projects that we get done, and the dollars that you appropriate each year actually get spent, but more importantly, they get spent responsibly. And so you'll see a lot of here in the outcome sections, finish 1 month ahead of construction contract, under budget, on schedule, under budget, on track, on budget, on track, successfully grand opening, successfully completed. Those are the words that we really take seriously here in administration and work with the departments to really accomplish. And so we take a lot of pride in that, to be fiscally responsibly stewards of the dollars, but also make sure that we're implementing. And that's something that this city hasn't seen for many decades. And I'd like to thank the partnership that administration has built with the board and vice versa, and as well as the mayor, because the leadership is strong, the expectations are high, and the outcomes are truly amazing. Speaking of outcomes, here are just a few of our accomplishments and successes from 2025. We were able to enter into a development agreement on Gretna Road in Town and Country for a $400 million TIF development. That was a responsible TIF. It was adequate uses of city resources in a responsible way and in a sustainable way, and economic growth that the city hasn't seen since potentially the landings. And so we thank our board's unanimous approval of that TIF development, and we're already getting started on the next steps of that. We also took the first steps to really move forward the indoor sports facility. This is something that this community has wanted, has tried previously, and is something we are taking the ball on and moving it forward. And so from creating an options agreement and the development agreement to purchase land, to take the torch in the region and move it and make sure it's in Branson, that's something that city administration really championed this year. We're also working through the comprehensive plan update process. And as Solon mentioned, we're working also through the charter city process. The charter city process is something that's going to revolutionize how city government works here. As Solon mentioned, to think we're a population of a little over 12,000 with over $100 million budget, not only do you need the legal resources for that, but you also need the processes. And currently as a fourth-class city, we're limited to what the statute says. And so by becoming a charter city, that's the next step for this board to really put their fingerprints on what the next 20, what the next 50, and what the next 100 years looks like for this community. We also worked through the red tape review initiative. We did a series of code updates, streamlining and flattening processes and code and regulations for businesses. A number of examples are land disturbance, our building permit fees, our food trucks, numerous ordinances that we've taken, not only heard about and solicited input on, but then acted upon it. And with this board's support, we were able to achieve that, and we're grateful for that. But again, from the planning department of making sure we have the right personnel in the right spots and the right processes, we also want to make sure we have the right code. And code dictates everything we do here as a city. And so it takes a lot of initiative, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of support in order to make code changes. And luckily here at the local government level, we're able to do it a lot quicker than the state and federal level. And that's something we really want to capitalize on, because that's the largest impact we can make in the shortest amount of time. Also very proud of the successful completion of the Lodging Safety Initiative. This was a compliance assistance approach to tackling one of the issues that this community has faced for many decades, and arguably past city leaders put their head in the sands on. And so we tackled that head on, because it's super important here that we protect life and safety. And so if our codes reflect that, we need to do that and implement that as the executive branch for our community. And so despite the initial pushback we got, and despite potential media or lawsuits, we took it on head first, and we accomplished it. All of the initial lodging establishments that were out of compliance either were closed or came into compliance. And I want to say, the approach we take is a compliance assistance approach, not just with that initiative, but throughout all of the initiatives you see and all of the interactions we have, whether it's planning, utilities, public works. It's about compliance assistance. And what does that mean? It's not about enforcing the code to the utmost extent, because it's black and white. It's about finding a way to say yes, something we routinely hear from this board, but also following our codes and making sure that we're doing what's right. And so especially with the Lodging Safety Initiative, we gave them 3 separate letters. We did site visits. We went through compliance assistance meetings, even though they were completely out of compliance for a year or 2 or never been licensed. And so it's about being deferential to the business community. And that starts with Kathy, translates through me, and it goes to all of our department heads. And I think you've seen that through all that we've accomplished this past year. As Solon mentioned, we've made incredible progress on the 76 CID. That's a project that was stalled for years. We got that moving. We got easements in place. We're making progress. And I think there's going to be some really exciting news coming up next year. That's fundamentally going to transform what we do best here in Branson, which is tourism. And that's such an exciting capital project. It's a massive capital project, but it's going to really transform that area. Lastly, as we mentioned, we've done a number of economic development projects throughout the year. From the Butterfly Palace, we have a few more in the hopper as well. That's something that I think we've really championed this past year as an administration, as a board. You've been incredibly supportive of that. That's how we move the needle here as a community. Silver Dollar City is growing. To our south, our neighbors are growing. What is Branson doing? From housing to actual economic development to expansion to redevelopment, what's our strategy? We're actually talking about those things on a daily, regular pattern, whether it's planning department and administration. We're having those conversations, because that's how we move the needle here. It's not just about approving permits and the length of time it takes to get a permit and flattening the process. Those are all really helpful. But how do we attract new businesses here? Is city government across the table an active and willing partner? That's the kind of mentality that we have here, and that's what we've been seeing through our red tape initiative, but also a lot of our economic development processes as well. Our social media growth and public engagement has been huge. We also, as Amanda mentioned, we've really worked through a lot of the citizen serve permitting software refresh questions. That was really an opportunity to sit on the other side of the table and say, if I'm logging in as a business or an applicant, what does that process look like? Does government really ever take off and sit on that side of the table? I really commend our planning department for doing that, really thinking outside the box. And lastly, of course, in-house legal department for cost savings. That's been huge. The investment you all made to bolster our legal department will pay dividends for the city for years and years to come. From proactively addressing litigation that may come, to ensuring that an organization of our size and a government body has the right legal resources it needs. That's a critical step. And so I really commend you for taking the steps to fund that and to help grow that this year. So we have a lot to look forward to. This past year was arguably one of the most successful in our city's history, with a huge economic development TIF project and lots of changes at City Hall. But we have even more to look forward to in 2026. And it's going to take all of us working together to get there. So a couple things I want to highlight. The indoor sports facility, we're looking at a land purchase and building our public and private capital stack. We've been working on putting together a fundraising committee and moving that project forward. The implementation and development of our Gretna Road TIF project, again, the most single important project we've been able to work on that's truly going to move the needle for the Branson Meadows and our entire area. That's now washing onto our shores, not just as a concept or a development agreement, but an actual true development with shovels going in the ground. And so we've met with the developer, we've met with engineers, we've met with their team, and we're starting to implement that. We want to make that a reality. The Charter City, of course, the completion of water, wastewater, and transportation master plans. And that really speaks to the strategic planning of our city, of how are we going to invest resources such as tourism, sewer sales tax dollars. Do we have a plan in place? And so Michael and Kendall have really thought about their capital-heavy infrastructure departments, and they have to have a plan in order to implement those things and actually make an educated ask as professional staff to the Board of Aldermen and the Finance Committee. And those plans are huge in that process. The Red Tape Review Initiative, we want to tackle annexation, we want to tackle subdivisions, and quite frankly, we want to tackle anything that you hear from your constituents. Please bring it to us. We have an online portal where constituents can fill out a form and find out if they're unhappy about city processes, but we want to be able to move the needle on that. Also, we're going to implement the first round of our demolition and blight remediation revolving loan fund. That was $750,000 that you all appropriated last year. And we have a code amendment coming at this next Board of Aldermen meeting to implement that, with the plan of hopefully getting out those funds by the end of the year, if not the first of the year. And that's going to really talk about moving the needle, taking vacant, deteriorated structures and buildings and demolishing them, but working with the private sector. It's a public-private partnership, making those dollars go farther. So we're really excited about that. That's going to be coming up in the next Board of Aldermen meeting. We also want to update our economic development manual. We want to update our comprehensive plan and get that adopted. And more importantly, we want to have a stronger presence in Jefferson City. We kind of learned that as we were talking about the indoor sports facility and, lobbying for dollars, right? And we want to have a lot better presence than just have our lobbyists do it. We have a former legislator, right, who walked those halls, who knows the talk. We got to get her up there to do that. So we're very excited for that. And so with that, I'll help answer any questions you might have. But I just wanted to say thank you for your time this evening.
Thanks, Alex. Well, I'll say, I sat out there as a citizen 5, 6 years ago and attended some of these meetings and was elected in April 21, I guess it was. And this is not to toot mine or any of these. It's a different feel. It's a different vibe. It's a different mindset. Everything that I've experienced for the last 4 years to where it was, and a lot of you people know this, and some of you may be new and have no idea, and the proof is in the pudding. I mean, it's really mind-blowing that I sat out there 5 years ago ticked off and couldn't wait to get up here and take some little piece of action. But it's like, wow, there's stuff going on, and they're thinking about everything and the outcomes before they do stuff, and it's refreshing. So just great job, Kathy and you and everybody sitting out there. It's all y'all. So it's a different deal, man.
No doubt it is. Hey, just real quick on the lodging compliance, how many hotels were initially kind of found to be out of compliance?
Close to 60.
60. How many reopened?
8 were closed, the rest came into compliance. So that's
leadership right there. That is absolute leadership. That's putting your feet to the ground and making stuff happen. That is absolutely amazing. And Allison, what an amazing job you're doing putting this budget thing together.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And to Ben, what a great set of eyes outside of the city to have on with Baker Tilly and pretty much along the way with your expertise blessing this thing as it moves forward. Not many cities do this, not many cities have the level of transparency that we're doing. And, I know initially some 4 years ago, that was one of the things that the mayor and this board, truly wanted to respect in the community was a level of transparency that was second to none. And this right here is what that's about. And Ben, you've been a crucial part of that, man. You've been there when things were bleak and dark, not from an economic standpoint, but just digging into the muddle and the muck of things. So thank you so much for everything you've done. And Allison is just a great transition into taking that over and moving it, forward. I see in every head of every director shake yes, Allison, you're definitely making a difference here. So thank you so much for all of that. And to Kathy and the mayor, this wouldn't happen without you guys. I mean, the board is one thing, but you guys are the ones that stay on top of it and keep the vision of what we put forth. And as Clay said, boy, what a difference this culture is, It's night and day, and boy, it's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much for everything you guys done. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to chime in?
Alex, you mentioned a number at the beginning of the presentation about the comprehensive plan, and I think you were referring to the outside support or third-party support that the board's going to be getting. Is that third-party support going to be, I don't know if you guys have identified who that's going to be. The reason why I asked the question is going back to when the board adopted and formed the committee and with the spirit and intent of keeping it local and avoiding a recreation of Community Plan 2030, is that expenditure going to a third party that's far outside of Branson again? Just because I know that's kind of come up as we've gone through the process, talking to other community members. Is that SEMCOG? Is that money going to them, or is it going to some other third party entity?
It is a third party. And at the end of the day, we want to have, the best writers of our plan. And so the active management we've had of that plan, despite if we get someone from, let's just say, 10 miles or 15 miles or 100 miles, I don't think it really will impact the direction of the plan because we've been able to really manage this in a really active way. And so, yes, it will be a third party. It won't go to SEMCOG. We're in the process of selecting a vendor.
Ruth?
I just want to say thank you to everyone that presented tonight and your departments. It is a joy and a privilege to be able to sit up here and see what's taken place since we were able to, as a board, welcome Kathy and Alex to lead this city. We have a lot of experience and education with our department heads. That's just kind of basic requirement. They're dedicated, extremely creative, and you guys have a passionate heart to serve each other, to serve this community. We can tell how much you love this city and how hard you work to try to do fantastic things. All the boxes that were checked, I'm seeing these up here. I know they're going to be checked, and I know there's going to be more boxes added too. And it's just something we expect because of the professionalism of our leadership in this city. So I just want to say thank you to every person here for all that you do for this city. And I'm just looking forward to this next year. Thank you, Allison, for putting this wonderful presentation together.
Mayor, Marshall, Glenn, anyone?
Hey, Clay, I'll jump in.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll ditto the comments that you made and Ralph made and that Ruth just made, to see where we've been and the culture that we had at that time and where we are today with every department just running on all cylinders and the professionalism that has been displayed. Man, it is a real joy. And I couldn't be more proud to be the mayor and see what we're doing. The accomplishments we've had, our visions and what we're planning on for 26. I believe we all just highly commend Kathy and Alex's leadership in implementing the board's desires. We're just running on all cylinders. every director, you know, when you listen to the directors, without exception, each one really praises their employees, right? And well, that really says a lot that about how they respect and appreciate the people that work with them, not necessarily for them. And I think that's how you get the most out of everybody is showing them that respect. So to have a city staff this large, with every director showing the appreciation that they are, and then we as a board, we have ideas brought to us. We, throughout the bad ones, take the good ones seriously, get them over the end, the goal line. Ralph is going to be celebrated next month when we have our December 3rd, when we have our opening of the police department, for his vision that he brought to this board. The majority of this board is continues to make this city all it can be. And I'm just so proud to be a part of that. And that's all I have. Clay, thank you
Yes,
for,
sir.
and Clay, just real quick, thanks for temporary filling in. I've been watching you. You're doing okay. But just okay. Don't get comfortable. I'll be back there soon.
I'm ready for you.
Okay,
Thank you,
thanks.
sir. Marshall, would you want to speak? I see you.
Hey, Larry stole my thing. I was gonna say, first off, wish the best wishes to the mayor. But also kudos to you, Clay, for kind of stepping up in his physical absence. I really appreciate that. And, I don't think you realized a couple months ago that you'd have the gavel for this long, but I just appreciate all you do. And since we're heading out, kudos and talking about leadership tonight. So
Thank you, bud.
appreciate you guys.
Mm-hmm. Look at that backdrop. Is that real corn?
That's real corn.
Holy cow. Are you in a cornfield?
No, it's nighttime here, just like it is by you. But that's
Oh, okay.
where we were harvesting 2 days ago. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, I just wanted to say great job by all the directors on the report, not only on the report, but just reflecting on all the things that their departments have gotten done through the years. Last year, I think is just great. But I wanted to share my comment that I made to Kathy leading up to this meeting, and that's the financial package that got distributed this year in advance of this meeting, both in terms of the format and the content, is really a step up. It is just a fantastic package. You can sit down and analyze the city budget in a great amount of detail. And when you overlay that with all the presentations from tonight, it's a tremendous wealth of information. So again, thank you to all the people that were involved in that. It was really a great work product.
You look like you're ready to shoot an episode of Hee Haw right now. All right, thanks, Glenn. Anybody down there on the floor want to comment on anything?
Thanks again for everybody and what you do, for the board for allowing citizens to participate in the process in an active role. That speaks to the transparency and the willingness to want to collaborate. But to all the professionals that fight the good fight every single day, there's a lot of other things you could do with your profession. You care about people, and you can't have visitors coming to Branson in the millions that they do if they didn't have a structure to base that off of. The businesses just could not do it. So thanks again for fighting the good fight, seeing through the noise, dealing with all the stuff that you see online, and for just doing what you do every day in the way that you do it. You're truly special and greatly respected.
Is Mr. Pinkley still down there? You have anything, sir? You good?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Is Mr. Brantney down there? Where's he at? Okay. All right. Oh, Kathy. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Kathy.
Thank you. Everybody has been so generous and so gracious with your praise, and I just want you all to know how deeply felt your compliments are by our team in City Hall. And, you know, we don't make widgets here. We provide services. And in so doing, that can sometimes be a clumsy process. There are hiccups along the way. We don't always do everything perfect. But knowing that we have a board that supports the work that we do and that you have trust and faith in us to make corrections and to not repeat mistakes and to give us that latitude and trust with the taxpayer dollars that we're going to invest those dollars and yield the best possible return to our taxpayers is a huge privilege, let alone responsibility. But your praise to this team, thank you for that. Because I can say it a million ways from Sunday, and I try to as best I can, but when it comes from you all, it means just tenfold more. So thank you for your generosity tonight. I also want to congratulate Allison. First of all, that she talked way slower than she usually does tonight. So she took everybody's advice and guidance on that. Her preparation, this woman has a wit that is so fast, and her brain power is like a supercomputer. And for such a young age to be such an accomplished, capable, extraordinary professional who even makes me laugh is a fantastic package, and she is fitting in unbelievably well in this role. Frankly, far exceeded my expectations. And the directors are getting good service from her, good advice and guidance, factual information. Goal line doesn't change. Allison, congratulations on tonight. Well done.
Yeah. All right, well, with that, I will take a motion to adjourn the Board of Aldermen
moved.
meeting. Have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Yeah, we'll do a roll call. Lucas? Oh, whatever. Howden?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Denham?
Yes.
LeBlanc?
Yes.
Schultz?
Yes.
Result of the vote is 6-0. Motion carries.
All right. How about a motion to adjourn the Finance Committee?
Second.
Motion and a second.
LeBlanc?
Yes.
Lucas? Cooper?
Yes.
Middleton?
Yes.
Williams? Yes. Pinkley? Yes. McBratney?